Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the ASEAN Plus 3 Tourism Training and Education Network Forum 2021. This forum will start soon.
Indonesia. Strategically lies in the heart of Coral Triangle. The global epicenter of marine diversity. Beyond doubt is a diverse paradise. Indonesia's underwater has so much to offer. Its beauty is unparalleled. Indonesia has raised the bar in implementing health protocols for diving activities. Nothing is left to chance, so that we can go back and enjoy the fun of diving in Indonesia again. Or challenge yourself to the next level. Or maybe a visit to the remnants of history. Explore the best muck diving site in the world. Be prepared to be mesmerized by unique and exotic marine life. Such a paradise for macro photographers too. Diving in Indonesia. It's safer and more fun. You don't have to wait that long anymore to be back. So, what are you waiting for?
It's just us and nature, the way it should be. This is the place where tradition rules, where beauty in the eye and soul is found. It's just us and nature, the way it should be.
We know you have been longing for a good holiday in Bali. Indonesia cares, so it's been preparing for your safe return. Ngurah Rai International Airport has been awarded the Safe Travel Stamp by the World Travel and Tourism Council for its commitment to implement the COVID-19 health protocols. To date, almost 100% of the people working in Bali's tourism industry have received their second doses of a COVID-19 vaccine. Furthermore, 1,006 tourism businesses in Bali, including hotels, restaurants, tourism attractions, and others, have been granted the Indonesia Care certification from the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy for their consistent implementation of COVID-19 health protocols. Indonesia cares about your convenience and well-being. And when the time comes, the island of the gods will be ready to welcome you with utmost warmth. We know you have been longing for a good holiday in Bali. Indonesia cares, so it's been preparing for your safe return. Ngurah Rai International Airport has been awarded the Safe Travel Stamp by the World Travel and Tourism Council for its commitment to implement the COVID-19 health protocols. Almost 100% of the people working in Bali's tourism industry have received their second doses of a COVID-19 vaccine. Furthermore, 1,006 tourism businesses in Bali, including hotels, restaurants, tourism attractions, and others, have been granted the Indonesia Care certification from the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy for their consistent implementation of COVID-19 health protocols. Indonesia cares about your convenience and well-being. And when the time comes, the island of the gods will be ready to welcome you with utmost warmth.
Welcome to the second day of
ASEAN Plus 3 Tourism Training and Education Network Forum 2021.
The Honorable Mr. Imran Santosa as Director for Interinstitutional Relations.
The Honorable Mr. Faisal as Head of Tourism and Creative Economy Human Resources Development of Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy Republic of Indonesia.
The distinguished Asian Plus 3 colleagues.
Mr. Andar Danova L. Gultom as Acting Director of Bandung Institute of Tourism and host of APTTTEN Forum 2021.
All the distinguished speakers, moderators, tourism academia, resources, scholar communities, participants, ladies and gentlemen. A good morning to you from Bandung and welcome to the Asian Plus 3 Tourism Training and Education Network Forum 2021.
It's our honor to be your master of ceremony for the second day of this forum. I am Halimatu Sa'diah.
And I am Anthony Samuel.
APTTTEN Forum 2021 is organized by Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy Republic of Indonesia. This forum will unite the practitioners, academics, and industries to discuss about the strategic partnership collaboration, link and match with industry, and also scholar community.
This forum will be held for 2 days, starting yesterday, 23rd of November until today, 24th of November 2021, at the Zoom webinar platform live from Bandung Institute of Tourism.
Resuming from yesterday's agenda, next agenda is the second seminar session with the topic Innovative Vocational Education, which will discuss on dynamic innovative curriculum, teaching, learning experiences, and moving toward world-class research and social services.
First, we would like to inform you that in this session, there will be presentation from all the speakers, and after that, we will have a Q&A session. For all participants who would like to ask questions, are requested to drop the question in the Q&A below.
This session will be led by the Honorable Ms. Surayal Hizmi as our moderator.
Good afternoon, Ms. Hizmi. How have you been in this wonderful afternoon?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm so excited to be a moderator for this event.
All right, Mrs. Mi. So, are you ready to lead the second seminar session for today?
Sure, of course.
All right, Mrs. Mi. The time is yours.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. The Honorable Bapak Imam Santosa, Director for Institutional Relations. The Honorable Bapak Faisal, Head of Tourism and Creative Economy Human Resources Development. The Honorable Bapak Andar Danova L. Gultom, Acting Director of Bandung Institute of Tourism and host of the ASEAN Plus 3 Tourism Training and Education Network Forum 21. And the distinguished speakers, scholars, participants, and academia. Greeting from Lombok and Sugeng Rauh. In Sasak language means welcome. Thank you very much for attending this session on the topic Innovative Vocational Education. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Surayal Hizmi from Lombok Tourism Polytechnic, as well as the 2021 Pacific Asia Travel Association PATA Face of the Future. It's very honor for me to be a moderator for our excellent speakers. In this section, we will discuss dynamic innovative curriculum, teaching learning experiences, and moving towards world-class research and social services. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to introduce our speakers. The first speaker is Dr. Arif Zulkarnain. Hello, Dr. Arif.
Hello. Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for the invitations.
How are you, Dr. Arif?
Very good, very well. Thank you, thank you.
Sounds great. Okay, let's me explain, no, maybe just talking about your curriculum vitae to everyone. Dr. Arif has become the head of business hotel management at Bina Nusantara University since 2019. He completed his doctorate in service management at Trisakti University Jakarta in 2016. Dr. Arif started his career from the position of bakery and pastry cook at the Jakarta Hilton International and was later on appointed as general manager in several star hotels in the Jakarta and Rio areas. Instead of pursuing his career in the hospitality industry, he chose to devote himself to hospitality education at Bina Nusantara University. Okay, are you ready, Dr. Arif, to present your presentation?
Yes, sure. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Arif, the time is yours.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Let me allow me to share my screens. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everybody. Especially Ibu Giri, Pak Faisal, Pak Anda Nova. Can you hear my voice, the moderator?
Yeah, sure, very clear.
Okay. Good afternoon, all the speakers. Ibu Hera, I saw your screen. Ibu Hera, Dr. Kandapan. I call we did several discussion and also join webinar with Taylor University and Kandapan, and all the speakers from Japan, from India. This is the short sharing material from me, because it's only 8 minutes. So let me start my screens. The second one is, that's all my my education and also the experience. I started from a cook helper and baker, and end up with the general manager with a group of Astons. In these sessions, I would like to focus on how the hospitality and educational, special in the hospitality and education, focus on the world-class research and also social science. So first of all, we have to learn and also mapping with the global, or with uh, the institutions who establish from beginning. Yeah, for example, the École Hôtelier de Lausanne, who achieved the first ranking at the QS World University ranking, and also some hotel school in the world like University of Nevada, but most of them are from Switzerland. We saw also from Hong Kong Polytechnic University. But after we learn or we digging informations, what did what have they did with the all the programs to increase all the activity in research, yeah, we can conclude some of the subjects area that they produce. Yeah, for example, the École Hôtelière also they produce the subject area of the business management and accounting. University of Nevada and also the Hong Kong Polytechnic University, they are running the doctoral degree. For example, Dr. Hera is graduated from Hong Kong PolyU. So, if we're digging about this research area, because if we open in Scopus, they are only mention business and management or social science. But if we click the hospitality and tourism, so this is the research area interested. It in we already digging with the 10 of the university. For example, COVID-19 and pandemic in the hospitality industry, restaurant purchase intention, and also the online rating in hospitality industry. That's all the topic area. Still, most of the researchers write the papers. But if we learn from the other institution, for example, the Cornell University, they already have firm the organizations. Yeah, we can see they produce the Center of Hospitality Research, not only for the vocationals, but also the output or the collaborative research between academician and also the industrials. This is the examples. They also write about the consumer perceptions on restaurant delivery, because you know with this pandemic, a lot of culinary delivery and also e-commerce very high demand. In order to we can say, in order to matching or we prepare all the academician and also the students, we have to prepare ourselves. Yeah, the faculty member should develop the educational levels. If we see all the faculty members, only some of them got the PhD and doctoral degree. And the second one is certifications. This is for I know the Polytechnic Pariwisata. Most of the academician already got the ahli certifications, like a certified hospitality educator and also UNWTO TEDQual certifications. But the other part, we have also developed our competency to become an assessor. For example, in F&B, for example, in the restaurant, culinary, pastry, housekeeping, and also as the faculty member has to get in touch with the associations. We have Hilditi Pari, IHGMA for the general manager, and also ahli, food and beverage, sales and marketing, in order to get in touch with the new update condition in industry. We call it Tridharma. It is not enough. We have to develop ourselves. We have now Coursera, online learning, yeah, as the academician and also students. We have to develop ourselves. Otherwise, we'll left behind the current issues or the update. So networking and collaboration is one of the key points that we have to do something with the networking. Okay, this is just the sample of our innovations. we have BINUS, the only university that provide vice rector special for the research and technology transfers. We have almost 40 faculty member focused on research, research coordinator as a research coordinator. As you see, maybe end of this year we will get 6,000 publications in Scopus. On the other side, I also always attend the webinar with organized by Professor Poppy. She is the ATTTTEN Education from Washington DC. This is my suggestions to Prof Poppy is to create special forum for hospitality and tourism education. So between Indonesia and United States of America, we can collaborate more, not only for research, yeah, for curriculum and for exchange student and also exchange faculty member. I also get in touch with the Australian education. This is when they had the vocational conference in Indonesia. In the internals, we have Doctor of Research Management program in BINUS. We also involving in creating the topic for proposal preparation for our faculty members, because we have currently we have 11 doctor candidate in the hotel management and tourism in BINUS University. So we can do collaborations in doing proposal preparations. This is some of the project that we did. Actually, we have an international program with UITM, Dr. Rizwan, and also Dr. Candidate Tiurida is one of the author. And also the second one is we researched about the competitive advantage, the art hotels. So this is collaborative with the CEO, Eduardo Panquerego. And also the third one is, this is the publications accepted in Germany. So we do collaborations, do paper in Doctor of Research Management. And also Pak Dino involved in this research together. And for the social science, we also has Erasmus program project. This is the food waste. So we did the curriculum benchmark with the Hotel School The Hague, the Ghent University and Tampere University. So 3 of them are from European, 5 from Indonesian. So international collaboration will give students on the 1st of November, we ask the students to do research projects and also design thinking project. And the other project in lining in curriculum is the German bread. We did the embassy collaboration and also diaspora food truck business in the United States, and also Tasha, one of the alumni who has the restaurant in United States, and also Reda. But we create also the traditional culinary business in order to develop or to inline the curriculum in our students with the current situations. I think 8 minutes is enough. This is the last presentation. Thank you. Surayati Hizmi, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And Sasak language bisa matur tampiasi. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Arif. That's very informative presentation. Please give our virtual applause to Dr. Arif. Okay, well, now let's move on to our second speaker. the most beautiful lady in this session. Hello, Mr. Hera.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Fine, thanks. How about you?
Good.
It's very nice to see you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Bu.
Okay, without hesitations, I would like to introduce our beautiful speakers, Miss Hera Oktadiana, PhD. Miss Hera earned her PhD from the Schools of Hotel and Tourism Management at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. She also received Certified Hospitality Educator from the American Hotel and Lodging Educational Institute. She joins James Cook University, Australia as a visiting scholar in 2017, then later as an adjunct associate professor. She is also affiliated with the Tourism Postgraduate Program of Sri Sakti School of Tourism Indonesia. She becomes editor of the international journals, and now she is the regional vice president Southeast Asia of the International Tourism Studies Association. Okay, well, without hesitations, are you ready, Ms. Hera?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, the screen is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Ibu Aya, and then good afternoon, respected delegates, speakers, and organizers of this forum. Thank you very much for inviting me to this prestigious forum. And of course, hello Pak Arif, and also Pak Nova, and Pak Hendro, Bu Ami, I saw you somewhere there. And then, of course, to all the delegates, I'm sorry if I didn't mention the names one by one. So in this opportunity, let me share with you some of the studies that I had done on hospitality and tourism education that have been published in the Scopus Index Tourism Journal. And okay, so I will share my screen. Just a second. Okay, yeah, everybody can see the presentation, the PPT?
Yes,
it's okay.
It is clear. Yep.
All right. Okay. As you all know that I'm now at the James Cook University Australia in Queensland, in Townsville, and I'm also affiliated with Sri Sakti School of Tourism, which is my alma mater. And this is my topic for today. So I would like to discuss about the tourism and hospitality curriculum, and then about independent study as the learning experiences, because we are actually experiencing a lot of independent study during the COVID-19 education in the COVID-19. And then also the last one is about research and alumni payback program. Okay, this is about the first part, understanding tourism and hospitality curriculum, so vocational versus the academic approaches, because I think there's still continuous debate about vocational and academic approaches in tourism and hospitality curriculum. This is based off my first study when I was a PhD student at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. Professor Kechon was my supervisor. So at that time, I would like to understand the position of the vocational and academic education in the curriculum framework. So this is a study that was published in Annals of Tourism Research. So we can see in here the academic strand and the vocational strand. So basically, the academic strand, of course, focusing on the complex knowledge, even though it's also require the skills, right, or the technique capabilities. But for the vocational strand, is more emphasizing on the expert practice. But both strands or both approaches, they need the phronesis or the practical wisdom. And of course, in here, what I talk about episteme or the powerful knowledge construct, it is actually the knowledge that actually made up or developed by the certain group of people who are doing the same research. So in here, actually, in tourism and hospitality, of course, is not like independent discipline yet. It's probably is an emerging discipline because we are like a multidisciplinary. So, and then there is no such agreement yet on the theory or even the assessment, right? The qualification for the, for example, like for accounting, there is an international standard accreditation, but for tourism, there are many types of accreditation, like the ICE for, let's say, Australia or New Zealand, and then there is also like the wall, right, for the UNWTO. So that's why it's very important to develop the knowledge that is constructed by the similar community, which is the tourism and hospitality. So in here, the academic strand is focusing on the reflective, liberal, and action-oriented. So it's more the, not in the action one, but it is action-oriented because, of course, tourism and hospitality also needs something, you know, needs the skills, not only the theory or the concept. The vocational strand, on the other hand, they requires the vocational action and reflective oriented. So even though the vocational focusing on the capabilities or on the practical skill, but vocational also need to be, to be critical. But of course, the proportionate will be different between the vocational and the academic. And this is the about vocational versus the academic curriculum in tourism hospitality. How are they different? Which is already published in a book, the Tourism Education in Asia. So we can see in here, right? When we talk about curriculum, it is very important that we start from the philosophy, because philosophy is the ground or the basis in curriculum development. We cannot just what John Tribe, the professor from SARI at the time, called the 12 P's of curriculum development. So the 12 P's means like curriculum of hospitality and tourism is mainly developed from the, partnership or like pragmatism, which is not correct, right? Curriculum should be based on the philosophy. So in here, the academic mode is a combination of the progressive essentialist, and then the vocational mode is essentialist progressivist. So it's a bit like different in terms of the focus of the academic and vocational. The aim and objective in here, in general, for the academic mode is to promote tourism stewardship and tourism knowledge based on the reflection and action, while the vocational modes is to endorse essential knowledge and skills for employability built upon the notion of action and reflection. So if we can see in here, this one is to promote tourism stewardship and tourism knowledge. This one is for essential knowledge and employability skills. So the focus and the content of the subject in academic mode is to focus on the knowledge and skills leading to higher order thinking skills. That's why it is very important to do the application of the theories, experience, exploration, and reflection. And the emphasis of the vocational mode is on the knowledge and transferable skills leading to the growth and employment through real-world experience, exploration, and reflection. That's why academic mode probably is more into the tourism subjects as the core, while the vocational mode is more into the hospitality subjects. Of course, both approaches need the management and business subjects or academic subjects, liberal arts, personal development, and general subjects. And for the learning and instruction, the academic mode should focus on the constructivism and critical approach, while the vocational mode is more into the neo-behaviorism and cognitive behavior modification. That's why in here we need a lot of observation and then practical in the field, real task experience, concrete experience, because it's related to the CBM model. This one is more into like metacognition, metacognitive learning, and then social criticism, because it's focusing on the constructivism and critical approach. And then what should be the focus of the curriculum content? This has also been published in the Scopus journal as well. So we can see in here for the hospitality subjects, it should be the skills and knowledge for employment. And for the academic tourism subjects, and the focus of the content is the unified knowledge, cognitive skills, theories and concept, trends and issues. And of course, there will be common knowledge, which is will be learned in both in both modes, hospitality and tourism. And there is also the non-disciplinary knowledge. The common knowledge may include management, economic and business, computers, language, communication, and social science. And then the second part is about how we enhance the learning experiences, because of course curriculum is related to the learning experiences. In here, I would like to focus on the independent study, because at the moment we are using a lot of independent study since the COVID-19. We use a lot of online learning, and this is only a very basic, very brief introduction about what is independent learning. So in independent learning, of course, teacher becomes facilitator. So in the classroom, the traditional teacher, students rely on the educators to feed them, right? So the teachers will tell the students what to do. While in the classroom with the facilitator, so the learning environment is designed to provide students the ability to learn on their own. So we let students to find out about the knowledge. So we are not just feeding the students, but the students have to be proactive. And why is independent learning necessary? First of all, it focuses on the process, not just the goal. Actually, what I learned in the education system in Australia, we are really focusing on the process. The end or the exam is not, it's important, but it is not really the focus of the education in here, in the learning process, because we are focusing on the process. So since the primary school until university, that's what I observe and experience in here, because I'm teaching a Bachelor of Honors and MBA program in James Cook, and we really pay attention on the process of the students, so not only just the end result. It also offers flexibility for the different levels of intelligence, because when you give students an responsibility, they know what to do, right? And then they think like, okay, I'm able to do this, right? And then it's also flexible for all the students, because the student can actually learn to do something based on their own pace. And also to teach students the time management and other life skills. Students also know how to learn and educate others. This is what good about independent learning, because I see in here, like my students, they also not only learning by themselves, but they also teach the other students. So they're kind of like educating each other. And students also be able to do the self-reflection and self-critic more effectively, because when students do the independent learning, they will be able to understand, okay, this is what I have achieved. This is what I'm also noticed with my daughter. She's in year 4. She knows what she's capable at. She's capable of. So she would tell me that, okay, I know how to do this. This is what I can do. All right, and this is what I still need to learn. So she can have the self-reflection and the self-critic on what she's learning. And independent learners also more aware of their own strengths and weaknesses, because of course, when they understand themselves, they know. Sorry, this is for the typos, supposed to be strengths and weaknesses. They know about what they're capable of, and they know what they're lacking of. And the independent learning also enhance students' motivation, confidence, creativity, and also internal satisfaction, because students, when they learn and they achieve something, of course they will be happy, and then it motivates them to learn more. This is how I'm just giving you some examples how to encourage the independent learning. These are the learning activities that actually I've been doing. Some of them I've been actually implemented this type of activities in my classes. So one of the independent learning is the 1-minute paper. So in here, students to record their biggest question on a subject or the most eye-opening exposure what they have learned, and then students will reflect on learning and build their writing skills. Or the peer review. So the students will exchange the project and the report or proposal, and they provide the comments and questions to each other. And the sketch noting, this is an example of the sketch noting. Students can draw a sketch or draw a picture, because remember, students, not all the students having the same type of learning. Some may be visual, some auditory, some may be kinesthetic. So we should be able to accommodate what the students, the student learning type. So not only just auditory, but also provide opportunity for the students to learn through drawing or the sketches for the visual students. So in here, the students have the opportunity to show what they have learned during the class. For example, let's say the process of cooking or serving the guests in the restaurant. And the idea is speed dating. So I use this in the Zoom with the students for the online learning. Not really Zoom, but in JCU, we have like a Blackboard that has online learning platform. So in here, the students, they share insights about a topic for an upcoming project or assignment. So it's more like a discussion between students. And then real-time reaction. So in here, so let's say I show them like a video or like a photo, like of in an image, and then students will share the opinion and reaction when they watch the videos or the photo. And then in here, students will also learn to spot trends and consider the new ideas. You can also use hashtag for the live tweeting. And for the brainwriting, this is different with the brainstorming. So for the brainwriting, students explore and come up with ideas individually before they post it to the online platform. I've been using this also quite a lot, and it's quite good, actually. It's quite good system. And then the concept mapping, this is an example of the concept mapping. Students to map ideas for assignment or project, and then after that they can make the review, and they can also share with the other students. We did that last semester. We did the presentation on the research design and philosophy using the concept mapping. And then the structured debates, students also group into 2 or more, and then each group must provide responses to the topic. For example, affirmative and negative. We use this quite a lot in Australia. So one of my subjects for the research philosophy and design, we use the structured debates. So the classroom will be divided into 2 groups, the affirmative and the negative. The time traveler is also another way to encourage independent learning. So for example, in here, students take a selfie video, presenting an opinion or answering a question at the start or the beginning of the class. And then later on, students will do another selfie video at the end of the semester, right? So we want to know whether they're presenting or answering the same, when they answer the same question, we want to know, are there any changes in the student's opinion or in the student's skills? You can use this as well in the, let's say, in the kitchen practice, for example, or maybe in the restaurant or bartending or something like that, or even in the guiding. And then the picture prompt. So in here, the students are given a picture related to a subject. I use this for the tourism subjects. And they need to tell or write their understanding by seeing the picture, and they need to justify their point. So in here, we also encourage the critical thinking. And then the chain notes, the student are given several relevant questions, and each student's note, notes or each student then provide the notes, right, of his responses and pass it on to the other students. And then after that, after we collect all the responses, then we discuss in the class. And this one is a democracy. This is quite interesting. Before the COVID, we used this in the classroom. So we provide like some kind of like stickers, and students can express the opinion by putting dots on the solution of a problem that they think the most appropriate. And at the end, what we did at the time, the most opinion or the most voting of the problem or the solution, we will discuss it in the class, and then we will ask the students why they choose that kind of solution, or why they and what they think of that one. And then the last one is the alumni payback program through the research. So in here, why don't we use or maybe like implement the social exchange theory, right, to encourage the alumni's involvement in the research? So in the social exchange theory, of course, there are costs and rewards. So for example, let's say we offer an exchange research program to solve problems. This is also happened in the Hong Kong PolyU, also in the JCU as well. So we as the academic, we offer research for them, for the industry. And then the alumni, which is already working in the industry, they can offer the access to the research, or even they can fund the research, or even collaborate in doing the research. And at the moment, there are so many topics that can be developed from this current COVID-19 pandemic. So I think it's a very good opportunity, because I'm sure many institutions in here have a very good alumni who are already very successful in the industry. And why don't we use, we use them, not in the negative way, but becoming like a, we provide benefits for them as well, because we do the research for them, offer them solution, because that's what action research is about. And then the alumni also give the access and also probably funding the research. So both parties actually will benefit from the alumni involvement in the research. Okay, so that's my presentation. Thank you very much. And any questions, of course, this is welcome when the time for the question and answer is coming. Okay, thank you, Ibu Alia.
Thank you very much for a very insightful presentation. Again, please give our virtual applause to Ms. Hera. Before moving to the next speaker, I want to reinforce that the Q&A will be at the end of all presentations. So we offer all participants to drop the questions on the question box. Please note, we are not open for the direct questions to the speakers. Well, now we are moving to Japan with our third speaker, Professor Takehiko. Professor Takehiko.
Hello from Japan.
Hello, konnichiwa. Genki desu ka?
Konnichiwa. Hi, genki desu. Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me today to speak to this honorable session.
Okay, let's introduce our professor. So, Professor Takehiko Kozue from 2013 became a full-time tenure professor at Meika University's School of Hospitality and Tourism Management, and become the department chair and in charge of international affairs. He had made many trips to universities in Asia, Europe, and the US to create collaborative and student exchange programs. To gain more international experiences and contribute to tourism education, Professor Kozue joins the University of Hawaii System, or Kapiolani Community College Hospitality and Tourism Education Department in 2019. So, Professor Takehiko Kozue, are you ready for your presentation?
Yes, I am ready for my presentation. Thank you very much for introduction.
Okay, Professor, the time is yours.
So is everyone okay with my voice? Okay, thank you very much for confirming. Well, I would like to thank you all, and thank you for the previous presentations. That was very interesting and very knowledgeable. I had gained a lot of things from that. And Dr. Hera, thank you very much for going over the academic and practical basis of education curriculum itself. And maybe I can use more minutes explaining other things. Thank you very much for doing that too. All right. Okay, let's start. So today I'm gonna talk more about maybe what you call is the innovative vocational education. But actually, what is innovation? I have to start from that maybe, innovation, when you think about innovation, it has to be very creative. Does it have to be something very different? Is it something that we didn't do before? Yes, it could be, but what we are doing, traditionally isn't wrong, right? And what we want to do is to add a little bit of more values and think about what we can do towards what the industry or what the world wants, and it's not only the industry needs, but it could be the community needs too, because we are not only facing troubles or issues with the industry itself. There are concerns where those industries are located. That is the community, that is the region, that is the area, that is the country. And we need to actually, understand about all those stakeholders to actually create this tourism program. So compared to regular, let's say, social sciences or other fields, then when we think about that, there's a lot of context that are included within this tourism education sector, I think. So a lot of different perspective is needed. So when we talk about student education, I always think about, we need them to learn about thinking from different perspective. So innovative thing is not just 1 + 1 is 2. It's 1 + 1 can be 3 and 4. And how does it happen is a way of innovation. So everyone, I'm sure that you acknowledge about that. But as an educator, we need to acknowledge that again and think about the needs of the industry and the community, region, country level, all the world. And at the same time, we need to know about the student needs too. They have gone through education from elementary school all the way to before joining the higher education sector. They have joined. They have been doing. They have been through all the education process, and then if we kind of put implementation towards those education too about tourism, something will happen too. Okay, so thank you very much for changing my PowerPoint. So very practical approach, as Dr. Hera has explained. There's a you need the balance out of that, and this is next slide, please. This is my slide. Next slide. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so this is the required knowledge and skills that Japanese industry wants. This was done with a survey, and this was the things that were required. This was a survey which was done, and as you can see, the required knowledge, the top comes about tourism. Other things, well, it's basic, maybe management, problem solving is logical or critical thinking, more of a liberal arts things or management things, and skills to its manners, courtesy. More in the Asia side, we talk about like hospitality, manners very much, and communicational skills. So these, as you look at these, do you really want to, focus on these in your curriculum in the university studies? No, right? When you think about it, we need the academic approach, we need the practical approach, we need to balance that out, and then think what we can do towards the student and the industry. Next slide, please. So these are the requests from the industry. General education is enough, maybe. Adding to that, we need to be a little bit more unique in our tourism education, of course, because we have the School of Hospitality and Tourism and so on. So we need to kind of collaborate with the industry. So what my university, where I am at the moment, Meika University, did was that we did a hearing process towards the industry. So what do they want? How, what are the outcomes of the students that they want in the future after they graduate, and what kind of person who they want to hire. So as most universities might agree, or colleges might agree that, oh yes, these are the essential programs that we need in our hospitality and tourism program. Besides that, it might be the land-based, which is the cultural-based learning, which each country has the uniqueness of them. So we could implement them into the programs. But this is one example that our university did. We did the hearing process, and we kind of consider doing this every 4 years, because the completion of the curriculum is 4 years. So after 4 years, before that, we kind of talk to the industry, we talk to the governmental bodies. What do they want? What are we looking at? We talk to the partner universities and what are they doing, and try to implement the curriculum into the right direction. So everyone will gain, the stakeholders will gain from this program. So graduating students, they will, hopefully, we started our program in 2007, and it's not, we don't have a traditional long history in our university for School of Hospitality and Tourism. But I hope, we have a lot of students who actually gain these academic approach and the practical approach and doing well in the industry. Next slide, please. So we kind of need the balance towards the theory and the practical side again, okay? All right, next, please. Right, so what is happening in the industry? A lot of, after COVID, there's a lot of things that are happening, digital transformation, like we're doing this forum online. This is a good way to do the forum. Now we can, participate from all over the world. It's much more easier. But in reality, we need person-to-person, face-to-face sessions too. That will be another thing. But we're getting used to this technology. Why can't we use this more towards the next step towards tourism education? Can we go next, please? Time is so short. So now in ASEAN countries +3, we are trying to develop a lot of all English programs that are done, which makes it easier for us to collaborate within this Asian sector. So we tend to look at Western, like Europe or America. That is good. I'm in American Institute. I teach there too. But at the same time, we need to look at Asia more. And there will be more people traveling within the Asia district, which means that we need to know about each other much more. And that is needed. So all English program will allow Institute to collaborate more. An active learning process. There's a lot of active learning process that I want to explain, but not now, then maybe next time. But we can do that kind of approach and you can think about it. Okay, so what we should do next slide, please. So what we should do next is that two-way, three-way educational pathway within the ASEAN district, ASEAN +3 district, internship opportunities, we could collaborate with that, maybe double degree programs that we can collaborate with each other in Asia. Scholarship programs will pay back, alumni for sure, and we can do that. And the last slide, please. So this is about Japan. We wish to, collaborate with all the countries as much as possible. So giving this kind of experience will, gain knowledge and move things forward, I think. So I agree to Dr. Arif that we should, make a alliance or consortium that we can, collaborate with. Yeah, thank you very much. That is my presentation.
Domo arigato gozaimasu, Sensei.
ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much for a very knowledgeable presentation. Again, please give our virtual applause to Professor Kozue. Now, let's go to India with our next speaker. Our fourth speaker is Dr. Kumar Ashutosh. Dr.
Hi.
Kumar, are you in here?
Namaste from India.
Namaste. Pleased to meet you.
Oh, same here, same here.
Okay. Our first speaker, Dr. Kumar, is Associate Professor of College of Vocational Studies at the University of Delhi, India. Let me introduce about you further. Dr. Kumar has completed his MBA from GYG University and also has a doctorate in tourism development. He has work experience of more than 15 years in the field of education. He has been invited by the United Nations World Tourism Organization or UNWTO 5 times as a speaker or keynote speaker. He was the only person from all over India to represent his country on such a high platform. He has also been invited to speak in several countries such as the USA, France, Australia, New Zealand, Indonesia, South Korea, Singapore, Malaysia, Paraguay, and many others. Dr. Kumar, are you ready for your presentation?
Of course. Thank you very much for a very good introduction.
Well, this screen is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I would like to inform all the guests, all the audience that Indonesia has been a very, very favorite country for me. And I've also visited your institute, STP Bandung, I think 1 or 2 times, STP Bali, and another institution. So I'm emotionally connected to Indonesia apart from what educational affiliation that I have. And it's a very nice time to say that what is the meaning of innovative vocational education and how far we go in this direction, how India has achieved this vocational education in a different manner. My dear friends, I would like to tell you that India has recently formulated a national education policy after a gap of more than 25 years. This policy was launched in July 2020, and you will be very glad to note that vocational education has been given a lot of importance into it. Importance up to the level that vocational education now in India will be taught right after class 6. Means a children of 12 years now they can learn vocational studies, and they can also go for practical training. This much we have achieved. And to achieve all these things, as you know, that you cannot play symphony alone. You need to have an orchestra to play it. We had to do a lot of teamwork to bring this concept to the mind of government, because till now, as far as my memory goes, the credential of vocational education is often considered as a bit lower than management and other technical education. So it's our task to take it up to a new height. So, my dear friends, I will give you just two short stories of India, that how innovation has changed the entire concept of vocational education in our country. All those case studies are very not very lengthy, so don't worry. I will finish within the time limit. And to describe it more, I would like to present the vocational education in two manners. The first one is production. In production, what we do, that skill is enhanced. We are going to enhance the skill of different kind of people. And the second one is product. Product is basically being used by the end users. So the alignment between the production and product. The alignment, I repeat, between the production and product is the new innovative technique that we are following right now. This is the focus of our institute, and you will be glad to know that we are the oldest institution in India, perhaps in Asia, which offering vocational education since 1972. So we are focusing very much on innovation. So right now we are basically focusing on how the skill can be enhanced and how the quality of product can further be better. So to let you people know in a very clear manner, this is the first case study that I'm going to present in front of you. India is a very big country. We have 36 states, 28 full-fledged and 8 union territory. Out of those 36 states, Uttar Pradesh is the biggest state that we are having right now. In Uttar Pradesh, what we are seeing, you can go to the next slide, that lot of variation, lot of cultural variations, lot of economic variation, lot of social variation that we are witnessing in this very big country. In this very big state, you can say, which is sometimes bigger than most of the country. Can you go to the next slide, please? Yes, you can see the vastness of this state. It is divided into 7 regions and 75 districts, and population is 200 million. You can well imagine that how vast this state can be. But the best thing that government has done right now, that they have identified one extremely popular product from each district. They have given a slogan, one product, one district, so that they can identify that what is the USP of one district, second, third, and so on. They have variety of products, handicrafts, artifacts, metalware, ornaments. Variety of products are being created and being produced by this state. In the next slide, you will come to know that how the vocational education has impacted those people. Though we had a lot of challenges also, that over a period of time, you must have experienced that even users, they have become quite smart. They do not compromise with any fault. They do not compromise with anything that is lacking in quality. So it was a challenge in front of us that how to bring those artisans at par with the expectation of present users. This was the first major challenge that we had, because all these artisans and their families are doing this work from quite some time. So it was very difficult to mold their perception because they were following a particular path, and it was not even possible for us as a vocational educator to bring them at par with the present time. So, for example, you can say you must have heard the name of Taj Mahal, which is situated in Agra, which is very famous for marble industry. A lot of marble materials you can take from there. Before 2010, they used to make only the big things, which were very difficult to transport from one place to another place. But right now, they realized that if they keep on producing the big items, the big things, then it is a difficulty for the foreign tourists to carry them up to their own country, because they are not considering this as an opportunity. They were thinking that no, we do not have to deal with the foreigners because we cannot communicate with them, we cannot understand their needs, wants, and demand. So it's better to be in our limit and keep serving to the people of our own country. That was the perception 10 years back. But now that perception has changed because the kind of vocational education that we are providing to them. You can go to the next slide, please, in which you will come to know that what is the role of vocational education, how we have tried to influence them. The first of all, the module is not pre-decided. It's not like that we have decided 10 modules of tourism and we are going to teach all these modules to them, whether it is useful for them or not. So our first step was as to make the module in a market-oriented way, to train them as per the needs and wants of the present market. Then we have MSME, Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. They are also trying to help them in a very good manner. They are marketing their products. They are showcasing their product on the world map, which they were not been able to do before that, before the introduction of such kind of modules. And the basic idea of that, recently one of our speakers said that we do not focus much on practical, whether it is a tourism education or any sort of vocational education. That is one of the loophole that we are witnessing right now. So in these modules, what we are doing, that we are focusing more on practical aspect rather than theoretical aspect, because theoretical aspect may not be very useful for them, but the practical aspect is extremely useful as how to showcase their product, how to develop their soft skills, how to negotiate, how to behave properly, how to behave and develop a good ethics and manner. All such things are very important as far as the foreign tourist are concerned or the foreign market is concerned. So these trainings have exposed them to both national and international markets. Next slide, please. This is the success mantra. Why I have used this word mantra? Because I have seen this word being used in Indonesia also sometimes. While I was walking on the Kuta street of Bali, I saw there was a restaurant known as a Spice Mantra. So I went there and asked that the meaning of that. That person was well aware of that things. See, these are the changes that we have brought after teaching them in a in a very good manner, and by putting all the vocational resources in front of them. The first one is products diversification. These are the components that have changed. They have changed their traditional design. They have changed their traditional colors, sizes. They have now better understanding of market. As far as packaging is concerned, they were not aware that how to do the good packaging and what are the advantage of that. And most importantly, that their verbal and non-verbal communications, it has also been quite good from quite some time. They have been able to understand that what the foreigners are saying and how they have to respond. So this was the success strategy, that how vocational courses have changed the fate of so many artisans. You can well imagine, out of 20 crores, 200 millions, more than 20-25 million artisans and different kind of producers, they are being benefited by these vocational courses, which are being offered to them in a very innovative manner. Next slide, please. This is a very interesting case study of Himalayan region. None of you might have heard about the ghost villages, though I have seen one or two houses in Singapore, haunted house. I saw a very beautiful house in Singapore, and there was no one inside. I asked someone that why it's lying like that. Then I got informed that there is a concept of haunted houses, ghost houses in Singapore. Even in India, we have got the same kind of uh, concept, and this concept was basic is can be seen in the Himalayan region of India. We have quite a big state, two big states, Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh in the northern India, which are known as the Himalayan region. You'll be surprised to know that more than 1,800 villagers, family, 1,800 family, they left more than 25 villages just because of the search of good high livelihood. There was no means of livelihood in that area. They were not able to meet their daily needs. So, just in order to meet their livelihood, to look for a better amenities, what happened? That they left their village. If suppose there are 100 persons in a village, 50, 70 of them are living, then other 30, 40, they also started following them. So we had more than 25 villages and more than 1,800 families who left those villages and they did not come back. In the next slide, you will see that how the things have been changed and being used for rural tourism right now. In 2013, you can go to the next slide to understand that how vocational education is helping them in a very, very innovative manner. Can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah. This was the scheme, which is a very, very new scheme, and I'm sure that you will find it innovative. Pay as you like project. Pay as you like project means some NGOs, they identified that there are so many villages, good houses, but nobody is residing. How to make them sellable in the market? Then they brought the concept of rural tourism. And just to attract the tourists, just to attract even the domestic tourists, they launched a project which is known as Pay As You Like project. Suppose there is a small villa having 2 or 3 rooms. If you like it, you can pay 1,000, 2,000. If you do not like it, you can pay 100, 200. It's up to you. It's up to you that how well you have utilized that, how well you have liked this place, and accordingly you have to pay them. Then what happened? We had to bring those, in order to bring those villagers back, we had to start with some innovative kind of thinking. We told that, okay, your elders might have settled to some places, you can send your youngsters, they can come back and start handling their house as a villa, as a kind of homestay, and they can make this much of money. This concept was really liked by the youngsters who were looking for some job. They came back to the village, and that ultimately triggered the reverse migration in that area. The people who already had left, they started coming back since 2013, 14, 15, and they are handling there because in the village, in our country, there is a concept of having big houses. Even those who are not very rich, they have at least 4 or 5 rooms in their house so that they can live in one room and make other 4 rooms lettable for the guests. That was the concept. Then they started facing the problem that how to deal with the hospitality industry. They had no idea to deal with the tourists. They had no idea to deal with any sort of other service providers like taxi, guides, and all. We started teaching them in a very innovative manner, in a very crispy manner, you can say, not the entire syllabus. What was the information required? All such informations were given to them, and in the next slide you will see that how even their life has changed. You can go to the next slide, please. Was the impact. Because if you go to that Himalayan region, their local food is very, very famous. Most of us, we do not cook such kind of foods. So we first started telling them that how they can focus on making their local food, how they can focus on making them popular instead of copying Italian and continental foods. So a special chef was brought to let them know how the local foods can be cooked and present. They were knowing how to cook, but they didn't know how to present them. So the first thing that we did, that we started telling them how the food can be produced. Uh, I'm, I'm just finishing in 2 and 3 minutes. I hope I'm not taking much of the time. They were also trained in computers, marketing, and customer handlings. Then localites, some of the localites who knew how to showcase the local music, local dance, local arts, and cultural performances, they were also encouraged to come back, and they started showing them that in front of the tourists. And this skill development, the production method, and the products that they are right now serving to, and this is a true story you can find anywhere. This is the case study that I'm saying. It is not a fiction, but a true thing. You can find anywhere, even on the website, that how this step of converting the ghost village into a very hot rural tourism spot, that vocational studies could only have done. And with the help of vocational studies, we are we are training them in a very small kind of modules, and they are largely being benefited because it's going to be a good mixture of so many things. It is enhancing their skill, it is enhancing their communication skill, it is enhancing their computer skill, and that is how they have become successful. So these two case studies, the first one was of Uttar Pradesh, the second one was of Himalayan regions. These are the great testimony to show all of you that how innovation in vocational studies can not only provide jobs, but can also change the fate of entire area. Providing job is a very small thing, and changing the fate of the entire region of such a vast state which has 200 billion of population, or another villages where there were no means of livelihood, we introduced, with the help of other service providers, the concept of rural tourism in that area. And this is how the vocational training, the vocational education is being treated in India. And I'm very sure that in times to come, because our new education policy, which was launched in 2020, it is still not materialized. After 4 5 years, when I come back next to discuss on these things, on this issue, I will have more success story to share with all of you. And I'm very thankful to the organizers. I'm very thankful to wonderful Indonesia. It is really wonderful. And to all the organizers who have been presently interacting and providing all the information to us, thank you very, very much. And I wish you all the best. Thank you and namaste.
Thank you very much for a very interesting presentation. Again, please give our virtual applause to Dr. Kumar. Then now let's move on to Malaysia, to our last speaker. Our last speaker is Dr. Kandapan Balasubramanian, or Dr. Candy. Hello, Dr. Candy.
Hi, good afternoon to all.
Good afternoon. Sorry for my mistake in pronunciation.
No worries.
Well, now let's me introduce further about you. Dr. Candy is an associate professor from the School of Hospitality, Tourism and Events and associate director, Human Capital Development of the Center for Research and Innovation in Tourism, Faculty of Social Sciences and Leisure Management, Taylor University, Malaysia. Dr. Candy has taken the mandate and made it as a personal aspiration, striving to broaden his ability in the area of technology integration in the classroom. He also won many awards, such as the Best Paper Award, Gold Medal in 2019, and currently his innovation and transformation in teaching and learning during the pandemic is well recognized by awarded as one of the Taylor's Distinguished E-Learning Educator Class of 2021. Are you ready, Dr. Candy, for your presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm ready to go, Ms. Surava.
Thank you. Please welcome Dr. Candy. The time is yours.
Thank you so much for that very good introduction. So let me quickly go to the presentation. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer and also for inviting me to this wonderful hybrid meeting forum. I also would like to thank my dean for extending the invitation to me. And it was very good listening to a very pronounced speakers with a good of insights from recently, the last one from Prof. Kumar from my home country, from India, and Prof. Takaihu from Japan, and Dr. Hera, and also Prof. Harif from Indonesia, my good friend. So without further ado, kindly allow me to share my screen. Please let me know whether my screen is visible to all in a slideshow mode. Is the screen visible?
Yes, it is clear.
Okay, so I think I will try to take my given time. I think they've given me 8 minutes. Let me put the timer. Yeah. So basically, I think my sharing today is most on how an innovation can be applied in different dimensions or probably different components in a learning space. So my whole presentation will cover more on redesigning your learning space. Okay, why we need to redesign the learning space? Just to build our future workforce. Because there is always changes in the learner's expectation and the generation changing. Technology development is going very fast. So it's a lot of skill sets are changing. So it's very important for us to redesign the learning space. Okay, I just put what are the different areas we can redesign the learning space. One is an assessment. Number two, you can go borderless. Number three, collaboration approach. Number D is the digital tools. Lastly, E is the 3E, which is nothing but engage, entertain, and empower. So my whole presentation will mainly focus on this 5, but I will go more deeper on the borderless approach and collaboration. Okay, why we do all this thing is basically to update ourselves in our curriculum as an educator. At the same time, we are updating the required skill in our entire learning journey when we are teaching the young generations. And also it's very important to survive and sustain. Yes, I think this constant update help us to survive. When I say survive, it's not like just surviving in the job. Keep ourselves updated is basically to survive in the global world, because we live in a digital world era where I think we are all required more visibility. Number 2 is covers also sustain. That means we have to sustain our educational institutional, country-wide or national-wide or regional-wide, to ensure that our curriculum or teaching pedagogy or anthropology or pedagogy approaches we are applying has to be more contemporary and addressing the need of the industry. Finally, it opens a lot of collaborations. That's why we are here today, right? I think this event itself is a good example how the collaboration can open when we go for a collaboration approach or borderless. So redesigning outcome also helps us to identify the key development of graduate capabilities, increase visibility of your institutional, yourself, your school, or probably the entire your country education system. Of course, it also helps us to globally recognize. And we need to understand we are all moving from a culture of competitiveness towards culture of care and collaboration. That's very important, correct? So how this ABCDE can be applied in our innovation, I just put in my level of understanding and my ideas. Okay, when we apply the innovation in assessment, number 1 is an alternative assessment. Especially during the pandemic, take home exams using social media, Instagram, Facebook for various alternative assessment, because the students cannot go to the campus to write a written exam. Number 2, you can do a lot of industry integrated assessment. So how you can involve the industry members, expert either inshore or offshore. I will have some example later how you can use that. Next is very important is the peer evaluation. I do a lot in my modules, because the moment you bring the peer evaluation, it's not only engages the students, at the same time they develop the skill of peer evaluation. So when they become a manager in the future, they know how to peer evaluate. So this is where we teach the ethics, bias issues, everything. Sorry for a small error on the due to changes there. Yeah. And also you can use a lot of inclusion of SDG projects. So for example, you can incorporate the SDG, like we have 17, probably try to incorporate either one of it. Then case study, simulations and gamification. This all will develop a lot of competitive skills, okay, and cognitive skills. I think someone was mentioning about problem skill, critical thinking skill, problem solving skills, and more important, simulation gamification will develop the data analytical skills, which is very important. And going borderless, yes, 21st century skills can be developed. We need to build more resilient skills in the teaching and learning. Okay, that can be done only when you go borderless. Move your teaching out of the classroom, like this, borderless. Move your students from the comfort zone towards the learning zone. And it opens a lot of research opportunity, honestly. I think I can share a lot, but I think due to the time limitation, I put few in the upcoming slides. And it closes the gap between the industry and the academic, the curriculum gap. Whether we are teaching what the industry requires, that's very important here. On the other side, on the left side, like I put like left and right brain. On the left side is more on CDE, collaboration, digital tools, or you can call it as diverse tools. And 3 is engagement, entertain, empowerment. So why we do all this thing, especially when you take collaboration, you can do collaboration between student to student, like role playing, remote learning, all these things. Then another category, like another layer of collaboration can be done between teacher to teacher. For example, within your school or within your university, or you can go offshore. The next, you can do a collaboration between school and school, national-wide and international. Okay. The fourth one, school to industry. This is where excuse me, project-based learning, work-based learning, GM roundtable discussions, expert sharing, or probably conducting forum. This all will enhance the students and try to give a space for them to interact with the industry partners. So automatically it can open an recruitment, internship opportunity. At least the students understand what the future skills are required. The last, very important, school to community projects. You can also do a lot of assessment involving your local NGOs, UNESCO. Probably you can find some research grants or probably try to work with them how the teaching enhancement can be done using them. And the digital tool, as I told you, simulations is a very good to build a lot of skills, peer evaluation, data analytical skills, decision making skills, which is very important. Then gamifications, you can use Kahoot, Gimlet, quizzes. These all create the competitive skills. And don't forget to use the use of AR and VR. That's very important nowadays. And educational app. Okay, why we do all this 3E, the last part, engage, entertain, empowerment? Because we need to do learner-centered learning. Now the educator becomes more like a coach, no more like a teacher, right? And non-linear teaching approach is very much needed in the teaching space. When I say non-linear, you are learning, for example, you are doing 2 hours of lecture, it should have a mix of teaching modes. Like you can have videos, you can have some activities, okay, you can do some discussion, bring the industry. So I think what the learner's expectation, more engagement and experience, right? Basically, even tailors, we are more moving towards teach less, learn more. Reduce your delivery time, focusing more on teach, for example, 1 hour class, maybe you can spend 15 hours of delivery, 45 minutes of engagement. Okay, that's what we are looking forward. I just put some of my example, what I have done in my classrooms, like starting from 2013. This is a global classroom, what I have done from Asia, from Malaysia to India for my wine classes. I have done for 3 years, not like doing one time. So basically you can see the students' engagement, interaction, entertainment, a lot of things. And also they learn the intercultural aspects. Not only that, I use in my simulation, this is a borderless classroom, what we can do. This is nothing but when it comes to a presentation, I try to do with another group of students from other universities. So where our students share their experience, at the same time they share their experience. So you can see that our students are more like, when you see on the bottom right, like Asians, more formal, PowerPoint, but the US, they are more like a visual mapping style of presentation. This is where the students understand. Even yesterday, this is my recent class yesterday, which I done, same. We can see our students from Asia, what they. So I'm trying to show this, but this kind of things can bring more attention, build a lot of skills. Not only that, this is what I said, industry integrated project. So we have, me and my another colleague, Dr. Rupam, we have moved a borderless classroom to a borderless assessment, transforming the assessment in the industry space. So the students go and do a dining experience, and after 2-3 weeks, they have to go back to the same hotel. They present the finding to the top management of their respective hotel. This is where we show our students' skill to the industry people. I think this is where we can see one of our speaker friend, Dr. Arif. Even for my masters, I do same what I call AI integrated teaching and assessment. AI is not artificial intelligence, academic industry integrated assessment. So I bring a panel of people, then automatically my students present to them. This showcases, that's what, this builds their skills. Quality of education is improving. That we address the SDG 4 and 9. And don't think that teaching innovations, why we need to shift, it also opens a research. This is one of my class which I done, transforming my menu become augmented menu. Why? Because it can pop up the video of cooking process, nutritional information, everything. Automatically, I also managed to get a grant. So through that we publish, right? And during the pandemic, very quick pictures, what we have done in our school, I think under Dr. Joachim, head of the school, like 3D virtual platforms. And you can see hybrid mode of teaching. On the center part is full online, on the right part is a hybrid mode. Not only that, integrating, I told you, like industry integration is very important. Changing your topics as a webinars and assessments. Not only that, we done through our research center, a lot of summer school, roundtable discussion from graduate schools. This is all why we are doing, because to engage more and close the gap between the industry. That's what required. And this is my last, I think, informative slide. So what the educators, okay, what they need nowadays, they not only a teaching expert, it's not only subject expert, we are also now need to learn a lot of digital literacy and information literacy. So these are all some of the skills required by the educators now and future. You must know good infographic, create videos, blogs, social media, game-based learning. So with this, yeah, we always thank you so much for listening. And this is my sharing. Yeah, every day we learn new things. That new links probably can give new knowledge. That is where new experience, that experience gives us new skill. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I think I look forward for the discussion. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for a very insightful presentation. Please give our virtual applause to Dr. Candy.
Thank you so much, everyone. I apologize if I cross a given time.
Okay, that's fine. Doctor, thank you very much for the very great presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, now are the time for the question and answer session. We have selected one of the most interesting questions for all speakers. So the question is from Irma Muchayani. The question is, how the industry of tourism education could be important vocational for students, and what the strategies there do to innovation, also collaboration. So maybe for the first answer will be our first speaker. Are you ready to answer, Dr. Arif?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you for the questions. First of all, we, as I mentioned before, that we have to sustainability improvement as the faculty member. So before we encourage all the students to have like the Dr. Candy, yeah, I think Dr. Candy is already has brought the understanding about what the customer in this interaction is. The customer is students. The customer is our industry. So we have to create the link and matching programs. The industry has changed a lot due to the digital transformations. due to due to for the pandemic, for the economic crisis. So we have to adapt the external component in order to link and prepare the internal, all the internal stakeholders, not only the students, but the first is our faculty members and also the institutions. We have to develop the visions for another 10 years. What will be happen in the 10 years? What will the digitals will changing all the customer behaviors, all the customer trends. For example, the e-commerce, how we do dining in using technology. Yeah, that's my quick answer about this. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the very great response. Now let's move on to the response from our second speaker is Miss Hera. The time is yours.
Okay, so actually I want to clarify the question, right? So it says how the industry of tourism education would be important vocational for students and what the strategies they do to innovation, also collaboration. So can I actually ask further, right? Do you mean that how important is the tourism, I mean the industry to the tourism vocational student? Is that the question actually?
Yes.
Okay.
Important question for the students.
Okay. All right. So I think for the importance of the tourism industry to the vocational students, without a doubt, right, is of course it's very important. I think not only for the vocational students, but also for those who are choosing the academic approach, right? Because in Australia, we are very clear about dividing the academic and the vocational. So those who are actually who wants to study the academic, they go to the university, and most of them they learn about tourism. But if they want to study like more the hands-on experience, then they will choose the TAFE for the education. So the TAFE is for mainly is for hospitality. So not only hospitality, but there are so many subjects in TAFE. But in hospitality, in TAFE, you can get a certification and also diploma, advanced diploma, let's say in culinary, in cooking, in so it's very specific and very detailed. And I see in here that both students, they need industry, right? Those who are doing the tourism project, for example, they also need industry. Those who are doing the vocational learning, like in the TAFE, they also need the industry because they need experiences, right? Because once they graduate from the study, they need to be able to work with the industry or to work for the industry. So I think the industry is very important for both students, not only for the vocational, but also for the academic students as well. And of course, doing the innovation and collaboration with industry also is very important. Because and then it can be different in terms of the collaboration and cooperation with industry. So, for example, for the students who are doing the academic approach, like in here, at that time we offer, let's say, developing a marketing proposal, right? The development proposal for a new stadium, the sports stadium, because in here we have a sport tourism. Because sport tourism is very huge in Australia because Australian likes sport. So the students at that time, I was there as the observer and a reviewer for the students. So the students actually developed a marketing proposal for the new stadium in Townsville. That's for the academic. So in that way, the students may not, let's say, doing the same like work experience, like the vocational student, right? Maybe vocational student will work in the hotel and the restaurant. They do, what they need to do, like in the hospitality industry. But the academic students, when they do the having the collaboration with the industry, they provide concepts. Right? They provide concept, they provide action research, so they offer solutions for what happened in the industry. Also the same with at that time with the magnetic island. We have a magnetic island in here in near James Cook University in Townsville. So we are actually collaborating with the industry, which is the Sealing. Sealing is like a destination organization for the magnetic island, and then the students and the teachers or the lecturers, they provide research, like they did the data collection, and then they report the data to the organization. So that's one of the ways how we can collaborate with the industry, but of course in a different way between the vocational and then also the academic. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your response. Now let's move on to the next speaker, Professor Kozue. The time is yours.
Thank you very much. Pretty similar to Australia, Japan has about altogether 795 university altogether, and tourism-related department is around 47, and roughly about 5,000 students are learning in that environment. At the same time, there are 2-year vocational colleges, which is about 135, 40 departments there for hospitality and tourism, and about 18,000 students are learning there. So there the student bodies are a little bit different and approaches are always different. But one thing I want to emphasize on is that we want to make sure that students, this skill setting is very maybe needed, but it's not only the skills, but to make the students to realize what they are doing. It's not from the book. You can learn from the book, but you need more things to apply when you go into the industry. Let's say you are doing a table setting. Nice table setting, you do it this way. Okay, that's the way you do. That's a manual, that's a skill. Okay, you can do. But what happens with an elderly or a children comes? What happens with someone with different condition comes? Can you do it differently? It's that way, that mindsetting is needed even in vocational or in four-year university too. So the theory, I think, is that most important thing is to make students on trying to let them realize on what actually is needed by themselves so they can grow more. That's the only I think I can use this time for that comment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now let's move on to our fourth speaker, Dr. Kumar. Are you ready? Excuse me. Excuse me, Dr. Kumar. Still on mute.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm going to answer a question that is sent by an anonymous attendee, that how important the case study is in tourism and how they can get the opportunity. So this is a very valid question. Even in our institution, students often complain that though we read a lot of theoretical aspect, but we are not exposed to the practical world. And because of that, what happens that once they pass out and join the industry, they get a setback. They reach into a completely different kind of world, and they find it very difficult to adjust. Sometimes they quit the industry and they start talking negatively about all such courses that we are teaching them. So that practical experience, I think, is the most important thing, though it is not possible right now because of COVID, but it's not difficult. Considering the number of tourists that they are going to Indonesia or even to India, we can, in the first semester, what we do, we ask them just to visit the tourist places and observe the tourist. And then in the second semester, we ask them that you consider yourself as a tourist. You go to a tourist place and consider that you are the tourist, and try to note down that what are the difficulties that you are facing at that places and what can be the solution of that. In the third and fourth semester, we subsequently send them to the industry. So once they come back in the fifth semester, then they get a lot of confidence. They do not hesitate how to interact with the clients. They do not hesitate in negotiating the things. They do not hesitate in even going out and meeting the tourist. because once you are seeing people from different world or different continent, uh, sometimes you do not know how to handle those people. You do not know how to talk to them. You do not know what kind of things are going to make them angry or happy. So they have a lot of hesitation. They remain lot of they are very hesitant till they pass out. But once this cycle is going to be be completed, then in the sixth semester, when they go and join the industry, we often get a very positive feedback. So vocational education, the meaning of vocational is technical education, cannot be completed in a classroom. It cannot be given in a remote condition. So as per my view, students, they should not be worried about getting any sort of training or any sort of exposure. You can start yourself, because success is always served on help yourself basis. You help yourself. You go to the go and meet tourists. You go to the variety of tourist places that you have. Indonesia is so culturally rich place. You can go to any place. You can start looking at them. You can see how they behave. You can see how they react to the different kind of situation. So this is how it will let you know that to understand the tourist psychology. For that, you do not need to read any books. So, as per my views, in tourism industry, in hospitality industry, trainings, they have to play a very good role. If it is not available, as my fellow speaker was saying, Mr. Balakrishnan was saying, that some kind of simulation method we can start. We have a kind of mock travel agency in our institution. We have a kind of mock hotel in our institution, where one day you become the housekeeper, the other day you become the front office executive, other day you become client. So these are the things that need to be put in our curriculum, and I'm sure you will have a lot of confidence once you go through this cycle. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now let's move on to our last speaker for his response. Dr. Candy, the time is yours.
Thank you, Surai. Ms. Surai. Yeah, I think being a last speaker and being a last person to respond to this same question is always challenging. Sometimes it's good, easy, we can finish very fast. Yeah, so what I can say, I think I totally agree with all the speakers, I think their insights. The most important thing, I think the vocational is more on a skill, like psychometric skills and other interaction skills, intellectual skills, which the students has to develop over the period of the entire learning journey. So the moment we bring more changes in your curriculum, integrating your assessment, as I totally agree, the moment we move our students out of the campus, that's why I say the borderless approach. Okay, I think the borderless approach is one of the good way how you can make the students to understand or to explore what the industry is. Okay, and what kind of skill they really need to do. So what we do in Taylor's, normally we do a lot of projects working with the industry from the level like semester 1 until the semester final semester, with a different layer of expectations, basically to bring more closeness, to ensure that the students skills are learning not only in a university premises and also is an integrating industry. One of the good example I can show from our institution, we also work with the industry to make our whole students to run the entire hotel from the GM until the last layer of the employee. So this program is done by our head of the school, working with one of the IHG hotel. So the whole hotel for few days is run by our students, from GM, engineering manager, anything is happening, everything our students will do under the guidance of the staff. So automatically we are putting our students in a very learning zone rather than always keeping in a comfort zone within our premises. Okay, so my simple word, move our students from the comfort zone to the learning zone. Of course, there will be a lot of challenges, fear from the educators, fear from the students, fear from the top management, but we have to overcome that. Then automatically we can add more value, we can create a meaningful student experience in our vocational education. That's my words. Yeah.
Thank you very much for very clear explanation for all speakers. Okay, now Ladies and gentlemen, finally, we come to the end of this webinar. Before closing the webinar, I want to conclude what speakers said. Vocational and academic are different in terms of the curriculum. In the vocational education, most tourism subjects focus on hospitality subjects. In terms of developments, vocational education in tourism, it is important to listen and consider to the industry preferences. But at the same time, industry needs to understand the importance of theory education. Thus, to create innovation and alignment is needed between these two fields, academy and industry. In addition, to improve the quality of vocational education, initiative collaboration around the world is essential for developing curriculum, joint research, and social services. Then, please allow me to thank to all speakers for their innovative and interesting presentation and all participants for their very active participation. Finally, please give virtual applause for all of us. Again, thank you very much. Batur suksuma. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now I'm giving this screen to the master of the ceremony.
Thank you to the honorable moderator and the distinguished speakers. To the moderator and all speakers, before we close the session, we would like to invite you to take a picture for documentation. Please turn on your camera.
All right, ready? Now, I will lead the documentation session in 3, 2, 1.
Once again in 3, 2, 1.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much once again to the Honorable Ms. Surayal Hismi as our excellent moderator for the second seminar session. And also thank you to all our wonderful distinguished speakers.
Ladies and gentlemen, after we receive the insightful material once more from the outstanding speakers, now it's time for us to have an ice-breaking session to lighten up the atmosphere. So we're going to give away some wonderful Indonesia souvenirs sponsored by the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy.
Let's start it, shall we?
All right, the first prize goes to Congratulations for Uzunu Hairi Ismail from Poltek Parlombok, Indonesia.
All right, next up, the second prize goes to Congratulations to Randy Afisal, SMKN 3 Denpasar, Indonesia.
Now it's time for the third prize. The third prize goes to Congratulations for Lisa Salsabil Aisa from SMKN 1 Buduran, Indonesia.
Alright, next up, the fourth prize. The fourth prize goes to Congratulations to Lalu Andi Ashari Indonesia.
Alright, for the last prize, the fifth prize goes to Congratulations for Cantika Widya Purwantoro from SMK Pariwisata PhD Cianjur, Indonesia.
Congratulations to all the winners.
We kindly ask for the winners to contact us through the email in the chat section below to acquire the prize. Thank you. Now, let's move on to our next agenda. The third seminar session with the topic Vocational Education Performance, which will discuss on student performance, professional faculty members, management and leadership in promoting excellent education system.
First, we would like to remind you that in this session, there will be presentation from the speakers. And after that, we will have a Q&A session. For all participants who would like to ask questions are requested to drop the question in the Q&A box below.
This session will be led by the Honorable Mr. Dila Pratiyuda Sayangbati as our moderator. Good afternoon, Mr. Dila. How have you been in this wonderful afternoon?
Good afternoon. I'm feeling wonderful. Thank you for asking.
All right, Mr. Dila, are you ready to lead our third seminar session for today?
Yes, of course. Did my voice hear clearly from there?
Clear, sir.
All right then, thank you.
The screen is yours.
All right then, thank you, MC. Thank you to the committee, Bandung Institute of Tourism, and the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, Republic of Indonesia, for giving me the opportunity to be the moderator for today. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again at ASEAN Plus 3 Tourism Training and Education Network Forum 21. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya. Greeting wonderful Indonesia. The Honorable Mr. Iman Santoso, the Director for Interinstitutional Relations. The Honorable Mr. Faisal, Head of Tourism and Creative Economy Human Resource Development. The Honorable Mr. Andar Danofail Gultom, Acting Director of Bandung Institute of Tourism and host of APTTTEN Forum 21. We come to the last session for today. The topic number 3 is vocational education performance. We will discuss about student performance, professional faculty members, management and leadership in promoting excellent education system. I will remind again to the participants and the attendees who want to ask some question. Do not hesitate to drop your question at Q&A box. The committee will choose some of the question and read the question through the moderator. All right then, before I introduce the distinguished speaker, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Dila Pratiyuda Sayangbati. Right now, I'm the Deputy Director of Financial and General Affairs at Palembang Polytechnic of Tourism. With us already joined our wonderful speaker. There is 5 speakers for this topic. The first one is Mr. Andy Kok. Hello, Mr. Andy.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Andy. So how are you today, Pak?
But very good. Thank you very much. Very excited to be here. Thank you.
All right then. I will read the profile of Mr. Andy Kok. Mr. Andy Kok, Principal Lecturer in Center for Educational Development, Republic Polytechnic, has been with the Polytechnic for 15 years. He is a certified problem-based learning facilitator and problem crafter in Republic Polytechnic, problem-based learning pedagogic. Andy is a rare two-time winner who won the prestigious Outstanding Facilitation Award in Republic Polytechnic, bearing testimony to his exemplary teaching and facilitating skill. Give applause to Mr. Andy.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right then. Our next speaker. This is my college. Welcome, Pak Muhammad Arfin Muhammad Salim PhD.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pak Arfin.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pak. Yes.
Are you doing great today, Pak?
Oh, great. What about you?
I'm great, Pak. Thank you for asking, Pak.
Thank you, Pak. Okay.
I will read the resume of Pak Arfin. Pak Arfin was born in Sanjay on March 13, 1970. He completed his bachelor degree majoring in foreign language education and teacher training and education at UPUP Makassar. He continued his Master of English Education at Makassar University in 2003. He finished his PhD at University of Technology Malaysia in 2015. His most well-known journal called Shaping Tourist Destination Through Language and Visual Element and Tourism Websites, a tourism discourse perspective. Give applause to Pak Arfin.
Thank you, Pak.
Thank you, Arfin. And our third speaker, this is also my college, Dr. I. Ketut Surate, Master of Science. Halo Pak Ketut, Pak Surate.
Ya, selamat sore Pak Dila.
Good afternoon, selamat sore Pak. How are you, Pak Surate?
Nice to meet you.
This is wonderful evening, right? Wonderful afternoon,
Yes.
I mean. All right then.
Beautiful in Bali.
Yeah, okay. I will read the resume of the profile of Pak Surate. Dr. I. Ketut Surate, Master of Science, was born in Babettin on June 15, 1964. He completed his Bachelor of English Education at Udayana University in 1991. He continued his master degree at Aston University, United Kingdom, majoring in Master of Science in English for specific purpose in 1996. He obtained his doctoral degree for Cultural Studies program at Udayana University in 2040. He is an active member of scientific organizations such as the Indonesian Hospitality Expert Association, the Teaching Association of English as a Foreign Language in Indonesia, or the Association of Teachers of English as a Foreign Language in Indonesia, and the Indonesia-Australia Youth Exchange Program. Give applause to Pak Surate. Our fourth speaker, this is the beautiful lady because the other speaker is gentleman. This is the only ladies in the session for the session. Good afternoon, Miss Metafi Wong Fairoj. Excuse me if I spell your name wrong. Okay. Miss Metafi, I will read your profile for the audience. Metafi Wong Fairoj graduated as bachelor degree Hotel Management at Ramkhamhaeng University, then continued her master degree of Education Business at Sri Nakarin Virot University in 2008. She also finished Australian Tourism and Hospitality Professional Development Centre Executive Education Program by the University of Queensland. She has experience as a teacher in tourism and hotel division at Phuket Vocational College for 30 years. It's very long journey. And teacher of hotel management, front office management, tourism business, tour guide, health tourism, cross culture, and customer service. Give applause to Miss Wong Fairoj.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And then the last speaker, Mr. Jason Zhu.
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Jason.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Pak. Did you still remember me, Pak Jason? We met at the second award in Guilin.
Yes, that's right. 2 years ago in 2019.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Jason, I will read your resume, your profile.
Thank you.
Mr. Jason is a lecturer in the Belt and Road International School, Guilin Tourism University. He is currently a PhD candidate in Faculty of Social Science and Anthropology in Chiang Mai University, Thailand. In recent years, he has published tourism research articles in high-profile journals. For instance, Annals of Tourism Research, Tourism Management Perspective, Journal of Consumer Culture, Anatolia, PLOS ONE, Journal of Heritage Tourism, etc. Up to now, Dr. Zhu's personal impact factor reached 30 plus in Social Science Citation Index and Scopus journals. Wonderful. Give applause to Mr. Jason. All right then. So we will start the session. I will give the first opportunity to Mr. Andikop. I remind to the speaker that you have 8 minutes for your presentation. After that, we continue to the question and answer. Mr. Andikop, the time and screen is yours. Please, Pak.
Thank you. Okay. Are you able to hear me and see my slide? Are you able to hear me and see my slide?
Yes, very clear,
thank
Pak.
you.
Very
Thank
clear.
you. Yes, good afternoon, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to share this. And it's really a great honor to be able to participate in this forum. So today, I'm just going to share with you the experience from Republic Polytechnic in the area of preparing the faculty, the teaching faculty, using the workplace learning approach. Okay, and just to give the context of this sharing, this is Republic Polytechnic, the northern part of Singapore, and this is our campus with all the 7 schools and 3 centers, and I housed it under the Center for Educational Development. Okay, this particular center focuses on developing all the teaching faculties in all the different schools to be ready for teaching the students. And all our schools have a special niche capability, and in the School of Hospitality, especially in the hotel technology, service analytics, and providing exquisite F&B services. So those are the key areas that we actually help our teaching faculties prepare for teaching. And in the area of why I would like to share this vision and mission statement of Republic Polytechnic is because I would like to highlight 2 key points here. One, which is the dynamic world that we are experiencing, especially with COVID-19, the changes that came with it, as well as the pedagogy underlying our approaches, which is problem-based learning. As I mentioned earlier, that this is about the volatile, uncertain, and complex, ambiguous world that we live in right now. And how do we then navigate all these different challenges that comes along with it? And to provide the next step of the context is to see how, as an polytechnic that provides vocational training to our learners, how do we then tie into the national agenda? So Singapore, being a very small country, as you know that we are only a city-state, we actually are very susceptible to a lot of challenges in the growing changes in the world. So we actually have to be very, very agile and very, very nimble in making changes. If we are not able to change quickly and be agile in the way that we do things, we are likely to be outdated and will not be able to stay competitive. So Singapore's government has this very strong movement recently, in the recent year, to actually work on transforming the industries in Singapore. On day one of this forum, where one of my colleagues from the Singapore Tourism Board, Mr. Muhammad Farhan, talk about the industry transformation in terms of digital transformation for the tourism industry in Singapore. And that's an example of how we as a nation try to be able to quickly transform ourselves in order to cope with all these new challenges. So how does it then impact on the training? There are two examples that I'd like to share with you here. There are some of the agencies that Singapore has set up, Singapore's government has set up to provide this guidance and as well as the support for Singapore to do the transformation. So one of them is Skills Futures Singapore, as an entity and organization that actually provide different programs. And one of the programs will be for the mid-career job seekers to upskill itself. So this is known as the SG United Skills Program. The second program, which is also part of this organization, which is the Skills Future Work Study Program, that actually incorporates both work and study in the same way, helping to prepare graduates from different levels to move to have a pathway to attain higher qualifications, ranging from diploma to postgrad and degree programs. So how does that then map to us in Republic Polytechnic? So taking the transformation map from the national agenda, we actually translate this into our pedagogy and our framework. In our teaching and learning framework, we actually encompass the philosophy, the principles of teaching and learning, as well as the practices in order to engage learners and empower lecturers to be able to quickly transform and change the curriculum and change the teaching approaches. So on the right-hand side of this slide, you can see that problem-based learning being our main pedagogy, tapping into the different philosophy, which is social constructivism, learner-centeredness, and inquiry-based approaches, as well as the different practices that we have, like from problem-based learning being the main one, to cognitive apprenticeship, interactive seminar, experiential learning, and project-based learning as supporting approaches, practices for our faculty members to be able to adopt. And at the end of the day, what we really want to produce is really the critical thinkers who are resourceful collaborators as well as self-directed in co-constructing knowledge and skills so that we can adapt quickly to the VUCA economy. So from that, we actually develop a pathway for our own teaching faculty. This is important because then it helps us to prepare our faculty members in a very dynamic manner, personalizing their development so that they can translate this development to the students who comes through our pathways. So now I'm going to jump straight and dive deep into this aspect of workplace learning. Now, this workplace learning is a relatively new emphasis in Singapore, not a new approach, but a new emphasis on it, where the proportion of the on-job experience is higher and on-job learning is higher as compared to the formal structured learning. So why do we adapt this approach? Is because in our approach, we look for lifelong learning as a basis for continuous learning, as well as the different features of this learning, which is bite-sized, small in amount, just in time to respond to the challenges, and being very authentic in the learning and assessment. So I'm going to give quickly some examples of how we actually implement this. The first example for a workplace-related way of learning is peer coaching. So in RP, in Republic Polytechnic, we have come up with this structure where peer coaching for our faculty member is being established, so that we will assign peer coaches to specific novice lecturers or teaching staff to develop their teaching and learning capabilities and competencies in the area of curriculum design, curriculum delivery, and assessment. And all these are validated through the teaching and learning certification programs that we have in-house. The second part of it, which is the 20% of learning, which is the informal learning, is what we call a community of practice. So what we have instituted is to organize a community of practices, and this organization of the community of practices are actually ground up, meaning that the lecturers themselves identify areas of needs and organize this where all the different people with different expertise come together in order to respond to a problem that has been identified. And that actually helps us to really provide for the just-in-time learning. And because the solution and problems are very real things that they are experiencing, so it actually caters to a very authentic way of learning. And finally, we actually cater to the 10% in terms of having interactive online courses that are based on the way that we actually design the courses for self-paced, self-directed, and self-assessed. Okay. And all these are also being translated into curriculum for the students. And my parting words will be this: for us to consider that which Republic Polytechnic is also considering and moving towards is that for students in vocational training, are we able to go into having 70% of their learning at the real workplace with informal learning that allows them to exchange and peer teach each other, and then finally supporting them with the self-directed, self-paced e-learning and structured learning. So with that, I thank you for your attention, and thank you for listening to this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Andi Kok.
Welcome.
Precise time management is very nice, Pak. It's good. We give you 8 minutes. You do 8-minute presentation in short. Thank you, Andi.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, then. We move to our second presenter, our second speaker, Pak Arvin. Are you ready, Pak Arvin?
Yes, thank you, Pak.
All right, then.
Okay.
The screen and time is yours, Pak. Please, Pak.
Me share the screen or the committee?
The committee. Can you help Pak Arvin?
Or I share myself?
If you can do, Pak, please, Pak.
Yes, I can do. I can make it.
All right, then.
Yeah.
Thank you, Arvin.
Okay. Well, thank you, Pak. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good afternoon, almost a very good evening in Indonesia, east part of Indonesia. Well, I think I don't want to take more time to talk about my introduction, so Today I'm going to talk a little bit about Tourism Polytechnic of Makassar in terms of vocational education performance. Well, sorry. This is the profile of our institution. So, Tourism Polytechnic of Makassar is a polytechnic under Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, and then it is accredited by TEDPOL, UNWTO, and ICO 2001 and BNPT. And also, Polytechnic of Makassar is a center for excellent marine tourism. I think it's one of the signing from the tourism, Ministry of Tourism. Well, this is the milestone of Tourism Polytechnic of Makassar. So in 2019, 2020, it is strengthening the institution. So we try to manage the structures of internal, and then the next is in 2020-21 is strengthening the business process. I mean that from the process of learning and also the management of polytechnic, we try to strengthen. And then next is in 2021 and 2020, Polytechnics becomes a center for excellence in marine tourism in east part of Indonesia. So why? Because this center has assigned by the Ministry of Tourism that the Polytechnic of Makassar is a center for excellence in terms of marine tourism development. And then the next is in 2022-23, Polytechnic will be National Excellence in Tourism School. So will be the national, excellent. The next in 2023-24 will be the ASEAN Excellent Tourism School. And this is our gain that we to 2025, that the International Excellent Polytechnic with Indonesian character. This is our mission, our vision. The next, in doing our our task, we have three C's that we have to implement in this polytechnic. The first one is designing the curriculum based on the industrial needs, and also we try to match with the competencies that they needed in industry, and also again to the Center for Excellence. This we blend into one thing that we become a Tourism Polytechnic of Makassar in excellence character. And the next is we offer in Polytechnic, we offer 8 study program from room division, it's the Diploma 3, and also we have food and beverage services, Diploma 3, and culinary art, tour guide. They are, Diploma 3, it means that 3 years program. And also we have Diploma 4, it is a 4 years program from hotel management, convention and event, and tour business and tourism destinations. The next is the learning process that we apply in Polytechnic or in Makassar. We use online system and offline mode, because starting 2 years ago, we start using online and offline because of pandemic. And now we try to, make it a hybrid, because we need the students to study online and also offline, because we are a vocational school, so we have to make the students practice directly in the laboratory. And and also we apply for 30% theory, as I think if you can see from the Singapore Republic of Singapore, I think they see it's almost the same with. Theory we apply 30% theory and 70% for practical. Means that we try to enhance the students' focus to enhance the students' skills in this way, and also for the soft skill, not only hard skill but also soft skill. And the other one, we try to manage, or we try to enhance or develop about teaching factory. Now we have a hotel in terms of for the students to study or to apply the what is what they have in the class. Besides that, we have industrial attachment. So we provide the students to go to the industry, and then we attach them for 6 months in industry. And it is because of one of the curriculum that applies free learning and free campus. It means that Merdeka Belajar and Campus Merdeka is the system that apply in Indonesia. Mean that 3 semesters they have to study out of the program study or out of the campus. So this is one of the implementation of free learning and a free campus. And the next is entrepreneurship program. So this program, I think, is also one of the focus in Polytechnic, in order to make the students or to develop the student skill in terms of developing the business for in the future. Well, next, the next is about the research system and community services. In our campus, we encourage the lecturers and the students to conduct the applied research and also the publication in terms of like a journal and also proceeding. So this is one of the management of the to promote the lecturers or the faculty member to enhance their experience and also the knowledge. And also we push the lectures to make the copyright and also the students, because when the students make kinds of research in terms of applied research, they can send to get copyright. And also we said that we have community services like tourism development plan. We help the community or the local government to make kinds of plan of tourism development, and also give a kinds of tourism village development. We help the community to develop the village to be destinations for the tourists, and also tourism destination management. So all are the research system and community services. Well, the next, in terms of improving or increasing the quality of the lectures, students, and also the institutions. So we do some cooperation and collaborations. We do collaboration with the government, tourist industry, also hotel accommodations and universities, even organizer. I think also tours operators. I think this event, the APTTTEN, make a chance for us to tighten the collaboration between us among the members of the ASEAN Forum. Yes. The next is the faculty members. Here we have lectures, 33 lectures formally, and then we have doctoral lectures, 15, and magister 38. And this is the human resource development, vocational training. We do, for example, certified hotel educator, also human resource training for lectures, lectures exchange and or industrial exchange for the lectures, and ASEAN competencies training. So we send the lectures to get or to gain some kinds of skills, also knowledge to increase their competencies. And also we encourage the lecturers to make publications in, for example, books and proceeding and journals. And also we have also a local journal in Polytechnic. And the next, the students' performance. Now we have the number of students is about 2,100, 2,000, more than 2,000. Yeah. So what we do to enhance the performances, means that they enhance the students' recruitment criteria. So we try to select it in recruiting the input of the students. And the next, push the students to participate in international competitions and many kinds of competitions that can follow. And also students internship program, international and national program. And also this is the graphic of our students, the students numbers from 2017 to 2021. So this increased slightly increase, And the next, another one that we have to enhance the students' publication. So besides, they have another, another activities that we encourage the students to enhance the publications. When they want to finish, they have to make a report. That the report must make it into kinds of article to be published, and also enhance the students' competencies. We have SKKNI and also ASEAN competencies. In the last year, I think about the entrepreneurship program. So we try to create young entrepreneurship through business incubator. Mean that we develop a business incubator here to to train the students to be entrepreneurship. And also we try to link and match with the companies in terms of tourism industry, particularly in order to exchange or to, it means that we try to invite the people are working in industry to come to the campus to give some kinds of competencies for the students. And also our courses contents refer to entrepreneurship, so we focus more to entrepreneurship. And the last is about I think that's only 3-1, it is the same. I think that's all. Thank you very much. I think. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Arvin, for the wonderful presentation from the Makassar Polytechnic of Tourism. And then we have our third presenter.
Sure.
Our third presenter will be Mr. Surata. Mr. Surata, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you, Pak Dila Pratiyuda Sangpati. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Shalom, Namo Buddhaya, Om Swastiastu. The Honorable Head of Tourism and Creative Economy, Human Resources Development, Bapak Faisal, Member CAE, GHA. The Honorable Acting Director of Bandung Institute of Tourism, Bapak Antara Nova L. Gultom, MSc, the honorable speakers, delegates, and all distinguished participants. Warm greeting from Bali. Thank you for the committee for giving me the opportunity to share some ideas and best practices of the vocational education through a topic of, let me share the PPT. Right. The topic I would like to share to this great occasion is the enhancing the vocational education performance through innovative collaboration in community service and entrepreneurship in Bali Tourism Polytechnics. To give a brief context of the topics, I would like to share and introduce briefly about the of our institution. Bali Tourism Polytechnic is one of the 6 government higher tourism education institutes under the Ministry of Tourism and Economic and Creative Economy, which spreads one in Medan, one in Palembang, one in Makassar, and one in Bandung. That's the oldest one, and the last, the other one is in Lombok. Bali Tourism Polytechnics has the vision of to be international standard, excellent and Indonesian character-based high tourism education, which aims at increasing the nation's education and has 3 main duties, which called Indonesia Tri Dharma Perguruan Tinggi. They are through education, training, research, development, and community service. Our institution has both internationally and nationally accredited. We are accredited by the TEDCOL from the UNWTO, and nationally we are accredited by the BANPT, that's the National Accreditation Board. And to keep the international standard, we use the curriculum, which is based on the ACCSTP and also CATC. And also we have a synchronized curriculum among 6 institution or polytechnics and Bandung Tourism Institute among under the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy. To keep the national standard, international standard, we belong to some international membership, which are PATA, City and Guilds, International Tourism Studies, UNWTO, AHLA, Pearson, and APM. That's the Asia Pacific Institute for Event Management. And also we have international partnership, which we have a collaboration with Victoria University, Melbourne University, University of Phayao, Ongze University, IMI, and then Republic of Polytechnic Singapore, and also some other. And also we have a collaboration with Swiss Contact. As a center of excellence, our center of excellence is culture. It's an cultural tourism. We are accredited by local certification, what we call a Tri Hita Karana. We have got Tri Hita Karana awards in every year. We get these awards. There's a 3 harmonious relationship. They are harmonious relationship between human to nature, relationship between human to human, relationship between human to the Almighty God as the creator of human beings and all the universe. I would like to share this one. One of the duties of the Bali Tourism Polytechnic is doing the community service. So the best practices for the community service, we do it in 5 main steps. The first step is doing MOU, Memorandum of Understanding and Memorandum of Agreement signing. And the second one is doing the socialization. And number 3, we have the model for training. And then number 4, we have model of accompaniment to the group and also the destination. And the last one, our goal is how to develop independent tourism village in this case. That's the performance. So every year we do community service in some areas and some regions which need this kind of community service development. I would like to share the best practice of this program. This is this is what we call INCO Tour. That's the Innovative Collaboration for Tourism Village. This is the collaboration between campus and university, industry, and also in this case, is Taro Tourism Village. That's Taro is the name of a tourism village, which is located in Gianyar Regency. In this program, we do some steps. The first step is that's the planning or preparation. So MOU signing between Bali Tourism Polytechnics and the village. And that's next step is conducting research to analyze the needs and also the current situation, and then formulating appropriate development program. And next, we have the development program through socialization, training, and accompaniment. And the outcome of this program is how to establish independent tourism village, which they are able to develop and maintain themselves. Why we do tourism village development? Because through tourism village, this is as the stimulator for the village economic development, and also it can be an effective strategy for developing cultural tourism in Indonesia. And then number three, it can encourage villagers' participations through community-based tourism. And the last one is we can develop a local genius through developing tourism village. Sorry. And this is the impact. The impact of the program, innovative collaborative program for the tourism village. The impact we can observe in this way. But before we do the program, from our observation, there are lack of tourism awareness of this Charu village. And then in terms of promotion, they have a very simple and manual promotional system. They do promotion through email and telephone. And then after the innovative collaboration program in this village, and then as the economic impact, the number of tourists to this village increases, and then they start consuming the service products which are provided by this village in the forms of a room in the homestay, and then they enjoy the dinner, they have a cooking class, and then they enjoy coffee break, and they have lunch, and they have a cycling program. As the outcome of this program, as the achievement or the performance of this INCOTO program, innovative collaborative tourism village program for this village, they got achievement as the first winner in tourism village competition for nature category, which was held by the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy in cooperation with BCA Bank through the name of Tourism Village Awards in 2020. We call this Desa Wisata Awards in 2021. And the second performance is that in terms of entrepreneurship program. So the program is the collaboration in developing students' entrepreneurship skills. This is done by Unit of Entrepreneurship and Career Development. So we have this unit to develop the entrepreneurial skills for the students. In this program, there are 4 main stages or phases which this program or this unit do. The first phase is how to develop the motivation and interest or the mindset of the student in entrepreneurial skills. The second phase, how to develop the foundation for the entrepreneurship. And number 3, how to develop business ideas, and then how to develop the model for the entrepreneurship. And number 4, that's the validation and the establishment of the business, and then they start growing the business. As the result of this, as the urgent result of this program, so you can see from the percentage of the business which the students have at the end or before or at the graduation ceremony. We do a kind of data analysis or observation, and also the questionnaire. We can see here that by this entrepreneurship program, we can see in this stage, at least 10% of the graduates, they have a business, at least a business mindset. So the most business they do is the food and beverage business. That's at 52%. And then the next one, they do business in retail. That's at 24%. Then they do creative designer in 8%. And then they do handicraft for creative economy, that's in 5%. Then they do laundry service in 3%. And they do makeup artist business in 3%, and transportation 3% of the whole graduates, which is the total in that case was 660 students. And then for this entrepreneurial program, we got the achievement. So as the achievement for this program is, we are awarded as the entrepreneurial campus in June 2021. This is the reward given by Mark Plus. This is the kind of a body which is very in concern with the entrepreneurship. All right, I think that's all what we can share in this case. So inclusion, we can do how to enhance the education, the vocational education among the students and the teacher by doing two main ideas or two main programs that are how to develop a tourism village, and secondly, how to develop entrepreneurial skills for the students through innovative collaboration among students, teachers, and also the industry or as the practitioners. I think that's all, Padilla. Hopefully what I've presented give much benefit to you. Thank you very much. Om Shanti Shanti Om. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All right then. Thank you for sharing with us, Pak Surata, about the perspectives of Bali Tourism Institute. All right then. For the next speaker, we have the beautiful one, Miss Medhavi Wong Fairoj. Miss Wong Fairoj.
Thank you. Thank
Time
you.
and screen is yours, please.
Really excited today for today. Good afternoon, all participants. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Medhavi Wongmairod. I'm the representative from Phuket Vocational College, Thailand. And my assistant, Mr. Supakon Supsai, will come to join with us for today. For today's discussion, we would like to present about vocational educational performance, improve student and faculty member performance with digital advancement is our first topic based on the given scope of issues. May I share screen first?
Yes, please, Bu.
Excuse me, can you hear us? Sorry.
Very clear, Pak.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. From the current pandemic situation, COVID-19 is necessary to use social distancing measures to develop students and teachers. The use of digital system play a large role. Number one, education institution must organize periodic training courses. Number two, education institution must provide a digital technology system to help and take care of students. Number three, students are born learning according to the specified curriculum standards. This one. And for the second topic, employment versus entrepreneur for tourism graduates. In the field of vocational college, we are focusing on management in a dual vocational education cooperation between education institution and enterprise. The production of manpower will be produced at need. Tourism is one of the main industry in Phuket. The production of vocational manpower is also needed by the enterprise because Phuket is the tourist destination, causing a large demand for tourist workers. For the last topic,
This is a number. Yeah, that's why we are the world-class destination. Yes.
And the last topic. This is the destination from Phuket location, from the Phuket destination. It is the land and smile.
Yes.
The last topic. In my opinion, the development of education institution towards excellence is in 5 dimensions. Number 1, participation between administrators, teachers, personnel, and local communities. Number two, building strong cooperation network both in the public and private sectors, both domestically and internationally. Number 3, project-based learning management in the 21st century include essential skills such as foreign language, STEM technique, knowledge management, as well as cultivating cognitive processes, sequencing and solving approach, problem for students to be able to apply in their daily life. Number 4, developing learners to have the potential to compete at the international level by emphasizing on technological skills, communication skills, professional skills, and entrepreneurial skills, embracing technique morality. Number 5, the last number, education management that emphasizes morality will teach students to have good personality, discipline, responsibility, harmonies, volunteering, and environmental conservation. Finally, we believe that education is the key success in the term developing our culture and retaining our beautiful world, overcoming every situation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Wong
Thank you very much.
Fairoj,
Really
for
excited.
the presentation. Very wonderful. All right, then we came to the last presenter. I believe the last presenter always be challenging.
You miss beat?
All right, then. Pak Jason, Mr. Jason, are you ready, Pak?
Itulah.
Nice to meet you, Pak. The screen as time is yours, Pak.
Okay.
Please, Pak.
So you see that I have a different virtual screen because I'm trying to change it into the forum, but it's not possible. So I'm gonna go to my presentation today. Okay. Thank you very much again for inviting me to join in this wonderful forum and to giving a platform for sharing the partnership collaborations between ASEAN countries and +3. So today I'm going to do a sharing of empirical research paper sharing on the international higher education collaboration. The topics of the day will be consist of 3, and then it will be I'll try to limit it in 8 minutes, and 1 minute for break the ice via detailed self introduction, And the second one will be the sharing the research paper that I'm written, and then now it's under review in the journals. My name is Zhu Jingsheng, and my English name is Jason. So this is my email. I'm from the Faculty of Social Sciences, Chiang University, Thailand, and also I'm working in the Belt and Road International School, Guilin Tourism University, China. I'm as a researcher. So currently, I'm also an associate editor in the event management, and this journal is from UK, and then it's Scopus and ESCI journal. So these are the logos of the institutions that I'm working on. In 2021, I've been publishing papers on Annals of Tourism Research, and the title is Chinese Outbound Tourism, and the second one is Diaspora Chinese Tourism, Chinese Outbound Tourists. So these are the interests that I'm working on, the Chinese outbound tourism, and also the tourism policy, diplomacy as well. And also I'm interested in the Chinese e-commerce investment in Indonesia, and this one already published. And also community-based tourism. These are the upcoming publications in 2022 in tourism management and rural studies, studying on the community-based tourism, and also the international collaboration paper, and also these two and many. There are more than 10 papers are now under review. So why the introduction related to today's topic? Because I have been working on one topic this title is Internationalization, Cultural Embeddedness, and Institutional Governmentability for Quality Control in Transnational Higher Education Cooperation. So I do an empirical assessment from Guilin Tourism University, China, as an example. So what is the story? The internationalization of higher education is a prominent changing scenario, and also this has been a focal issue for the international higher education institutions all over the world. So the story goes like this. We have chosen Guilin Tourism University as an example, and this university is located in southwest of China, and it's also a renowned tourism institution in China, especially the tourism management majors and hospitality management. And also we know that there is one of the renowned institution in the world, the École Hôtelière de Lausanne from Switzerland, one of the first to study the hospitality education since 1893. So the oldest one in the world. So the story goes like this. Lausanne has the mindsets of hospitality education. And Guilin Tourism University, whose hospitality management has been also certified by the TEDCO system from UNWTO. And both of these two institutions are interested in working together to embed the mindsets of hospitality management, or let's say the mindsets of high-profile service quality in hospitality management. So, two decided to work on this international International Hospitality Management School. So it was established in 2015 that an independent teaching and training building has been constructed since 2015, and this is the base of Faculty of GL. By 2016, this institution has been certified by the EHL in 2016, and then GTU is also authorized by the Ministry of the Education in China to enroll bachelor students for hospitality management since 2017, adopting an EHL-style teaching model. Then the story
leads to three questions. How to facilitate a new model of international collaboration among global institutions? How can the world education sector foster a leading and responsible role to develop a good example for proper educational institutionalization? And how to reach the goal of culture internationalization, especially in the tourism and hospitality education sector? And these three questions become the research question of this empirical research paper. So the abstract comes with the background that what we did, and also we figure out three keywords to summarize the excellence of the joint collaboration between the two parties. And also we emphasize on the quality control system. This research was conducted by participatory action plan through triangulation of data sources. So we use case studies, and these case studies has been adopted with participation, with face-to-face interviews and documentary review. And here comes the findings. First of all, cultural embeddedness as a multifaceted international communication mechanism. So there is a mechanism between Lausanne and Guilin, and by adopting the mindset, and then this GTU GL, the faculty has been established to embed both organizational cultures as a joint collaborating and consulting project, and also as an independent secondary faculty to the Guilin Tourism University to formulate organization cultures, established institutional and government structures, and supervising the qualities and elements, and enhance faculty capacity via training. And this kind of a training has been conducted by Lausanne. Faculty training projects, they have provided with certificates of, what is that called? A teacher certificates that has been conducted, and all the faculties from this has been trained in this kind of project. The GTU GL faculty has also established a hierarchical structure for administrative management chart. And this is the chart, and GTU is here, and EHL group, EHL advisory services, and also management committee has been established. And then this institute, this independent secondary faculty has also been under the guidance of GTU, and then GTU has also established an advisory board from Polytechnic University Hong Kong, and also University of Surrey, and also some and Banyan Tree boards members, and also, and this kind of structures has been running up until now. And the second findings that internationalization of transnational higher education collaboration through GL faculty is that we are aiming at a high profile transnational higher education collaboration. And then we have three indicators, that is quality control indicators and cultural embeddedness indicators, and also institutional governmentality. This diagram is also consists of the finding number 3, and then we formulated a closed loop diagram for monitoring teaching quality in the faculty. This is the tracking of the teaching faculties, and then starting from here, the theoretical teaching, practical teaching. In the theoretical teachings, we have class preparation, class assignment, and final examinations. And the practice teachings here, we have classes for real in-situ operational teaching, internships for 2 times, and dissertation, business project, expanded activities. I want to emphasize here that this process is characterized especially in the first year of the enrollment for the bachelor students, bachelor first year students. You know, high school graduates coming to this faculty, and then they are studying in a real hotel. Every week they are divided into small groups, and these small groups rotated in 13 departments in the real hotel. And then in the morning, they do the hotel services. In the afternoon, they go to the classroom and reflect back with the teachers, with the facilitators on the performance of the day. You know, after one semester, they are rotating to 13 different departments, and that is the most featured pathway for theoretical and practical skills to be merged together. So, and this teaching practice is also under inspections from both EHL and GTU, and then it's coming up to a feedback, and then EHL, GTU also feedback in this way, and then it formulated with the quality standard making and also collaborative management and teaching upgrading. And this will come up with enhancing the process of teaching. So these findings leads to further discussions. We have formulated a 4-in-1 model that the students and also the faculty, we find that the integration of Chinese Switzerland education style, a culture in one faculty, the educational school teaching and training enterprises in one venue, being teachers or students in and being employees in one places, and also employees and customers in one school. Because the faculty members, faculty members and students are consuming in the same teaching building. So the conclusions goes that quality control in this faculty will be benchmarked by institutional constructions and also benchmarked by effective governmentality system. Culture embeddedness is the third discussion, this third conclusion. So after this, we have a new story. What is this new story? You know, GTU, now we have embedded with the GL International Hospitality Management School, and then this mindset, and we have another one, Trisakti Tourism Institute of Tourism. So what we did, we are working together to establish a 4-year bachelor joint 2+2 program, but this 2+2 is different. It's 1+2+1, because we have established a 1+2+1 joint bachelor institution between the two universities, and also we have strict quality control system which has been established to monitor the teaching process. This is the story, and then stories to be continued, and that is the end of my presentation. Thank you. So my email is here, and if you want, we can keep in touch and contact with each other. Thank you.
All right then. Thank you, Mr. Jason. Give applause to all for wonderful speaker.
Thank you.
All right then. Before there is a question for Mr. Andikok from Mr. Atang from Bandung. Can we share the answer, Pak? Or I will read the question and then maybe Mr. Andi can explain the question about Mr. Atang question. Is that okay, Pandi?
Yes, sure.
All right then. From Mr. Atang Sobur to Mr. Andikok. According to your experience in Singapore, especially during the pandemic of COVID-19, what requirement in terms of facilities, modules, teaching methods, schedule, etc., required to conduct online class, like teaching and learning activities for vocational subject in practical session? Thank you. Please,
Thank you
Pani,
for the question.
share
Okay,
your answer.
I know the time is overrun. I will try to keep it very short. Okay, I've also written the answers on the side as well. Firstly, I think it's important to cater to the internet itself. First, we need the IT infrastructure and the learning management system to be well prepared for very intensive usage. So during that period of time, we actually enhanced that part. The second thing that we did was to quickly develop the curriculum using two approaches. The first approach is to look at the curriculum that require less of facilities, okay? And then we convert that for online learning first. Then we converted those that require practical, hands-on curriculum. For the hands-on curriculum, we actually, one of the methods that we used was to use mixed reality that incorporated VR and AR in the curriculum design. Because when we have our infrastructure ready, this part of the curriculum could then be placed up there and to help students to learn quickly. The third thing that we did was to help our faculty, teaching faculty, to be able to convert all this curriculum for online usage. So we use the community of practice approach to quickly upskill every teaching faculty in order to know what to do and how to convert the curriculum. And based on that, our peer coaches will continue to support them as they continuously develop the curriculum. So the teaching activities and all that, we did cater to that. And the last thing is really about independent learning, which I think the earlier speakers in the earlier session actually mentioned about this independent learning, self-directed, okay, self-paced, and we actually converted a lot of this interactive online courses for students to actually pick up necessary knowledge before they come for the practical session. The main challenge that we face is really about the bandwidth for the students. So some students do not have internet access or they have very limited internet access. So on campus, we actually dedicated some of the classrooms for students to be in that classroom on their own, so that they do not get to be affected by the COVID situation. Now, all these are ways in which we supported them. Not the most ideal because they are supposed to be home-based, but because they don't have internet access, so we actually cater for such students to come on campus to use those facilities. I hope that answered the question. Thank you.
All right then, thank you, Andy, for your explanation. I go to Mr. Jason. At your presentation, Pak Jason, I found the keyword is collaboration.
Yeah.
Collaboration is in line with our ministry tagline. If you want to go further, you have to make collaboration with others. So what I want to ask is the collaboration between GTU and Lausanne, how it goes. It is for student, for the lecturer, or the member of the university?
First of all, Lausanne is working all over the world with certified schools, but in the case of GL, the faculty of GL, GTU established its own independent and self-running schools in the university, and but these institutes, for the EHL, they provide with the mindset, the curriculum, the consultancies, and also every year they will be providing with teachers and guidance, and also students, entrepreneurs, trainings as well. But more importantly, the running of the school independently is more important. And then this is the way that jointly collaboration, not in the entity itself, but on the mindsets. And also that is what I call culture embeddedness, the culture adoptions, and also the own characteristics of the GTU style. This is the way that we cooperated. And then this way will be further enhances for own running style.
Okay. All right then.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jason. All right then. Before I get back to the Master of Ceremony, I will give each speaker to express your opinion about this event. 1 minute or 10 seconds or 30 seconds maybe for each speaker. I will start from Mr. Andi. Please, Andi.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored to be able to join this forum, and I have learned a lot from everyone, and definitely very keen to know more about the research work that each of the speakers are engaged in. So I will, on the side, reach out to all of you, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Andi. The second opportunity goes to Pak Arvin.
Okay, thank you, Pak Dila. Yeah, I think this event is make us to be close between us among the ASEAN and +3 in terms of cooperation and also collaboration to develop the education and human resources. I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Arvin. And next one is Pak Surata. Pak Surata, time is yours, please. Pak.
Thank you, Dila. Yeah, it's a great honor for me to share some ideas, and I think this event is very, very useful, very important. So at least we can share some ideas and we can know each other, and so we can do networking. The most important one is that the collaboration is not only on the table. So in the case of a synchronization of the program, but the most important one is how to make the agreement of the program into a reality, into a real implementation. So the key word here is a collaborative action. So how to implement the collaboration that we have made together into real practice, into a real action. So in the future, we need to have a further event on how to do action together to improve the quality of the teaching and also the education, not only in Indonesia, but also in Asian countries. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Surata. And then the next one is Ms. Wong Fairoj. Please, ma'am. You still on mute?
Okay, thank you very much. We have good connection. We help to each other in education for the future. Thank you very much again.
All right, then. Thank you. Ms. Wong
Welcome to
Fairoj.
Thailand.
Welcome on.
We will, yeah.
Yeah. When the situation is better, we always welcome. Now we are in the high season in Phuket. Yes.
All right, then.
Yes, and there are many foreigners now in Patong Beach.
Cannot wait to see you, Pak.
Yes, and we're very happy again when the tourists come. Yeah, and I hope we can move around the world also and distribute income for all community. Yes, yes.
All right, then. Thank you very much.
You
Mr. Jason, please, Pak.
Hello, dear presenters, and also Mr. Dila, and also all the participants still here in the forum. And I'm very grateful to be given this opportunity to share this, share some of the ideas in the research. And also, I've been to, before the COVID-19, I've been to Indonesia, we have been to Malaysia and Thailand and Vietnam and Myanmar and also UK and US and many, many places, but not Singapore. So I wish that I could have the opportunity to travel all around the world after the COVID-19, or let's say if vaccinations comes. And the reason for this meeting today is that we are working together to reach the ultimate goal of reaching the highest level of service mindsets in tourism and hospitality management, education. So working together, we have the same goal, we have the same dream, and then we will be working together to continue in this industry. So let's prepare for the worst and wish for the best. Thank you for inviting me, and looking forward to seeing you in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Jason. All right, then. This is a very wonderful moment and wonderful sharing idea for this evening. Thank you for the wonderful participant. Thank you for the distinguished speaker. It's very nice to hear the very nice idea, very good idea, how we can go for collaboration to do some ultimate goals ya Pak ya, Pak Jason. All right then, thank you very much. See you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. Om Santi 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 Om. I give back to Master of Ceremony. Thank you very much.
Thank you to the honorable moderator and distinguished speakers. To the moderator and all speakers, before we close the session, we would like to invite you to take a picture for a documentation. Please kindly turn on your camera.
Okay, ready? I will lead the documentation session in 3, 2, 1.
All right, once again in 3, 2, 1.
Thank you very much. Thank you once again to the Honorable Mr. Dila Pratiyuda Sayangbati as our excellent moderator for the third seminar session. And also thank you to all our wonderful distinguished speakers. Ladies and gentlemen,
the 2 days Asian Plus 3 Tourism Training and Education Network Forum 2021 has concluded.
It is our hope that this forum will give a new bright insight and wider network for everyone involved.
We would like to inform that e-certificates can be downloaded in the next 2 weeks with the same link that will be sent in the chat box below.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we would like to invite the Honorable Mr. Faisal, as the Head of Tourism and Creative Economy Human Resources Development, Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, Republic of Indonesia, to deliver this closing speech.
To the Honorable Mr. Faisal, the screen is yours.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. Om Swastiastu. Warm greeting to all of you. The Honorable Ibu Niwayanggiri Adiani, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy Republic of Indonesia, the Honorable ASEAN Plus 3 College, the Honorable Bapak Iman Santosa, Director for Interinstitutional Relation of Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy Republic of Indonesia, distinguished speakers, tourism academia, researcher, scholar communities, participants, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I would like to extend our praises to Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Because of His blessing, we can join the event of ASEAN Plus 3 Tourism Training and Education Network APTTTEN Forum 21, held by the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy for the past 2 days. The forum has been held as a forum to accelerate tourism human capital development through mainstreaming the collaboration between vocational higher education institutions and the tourism industry, as well as to strengthen the network among tourism leaders, academics, researchers, and scholar community. Human capital is one of the most important assets in the development of tourism sector. Therefore, we are currently focused on creating future tourism professionals through innovative vocational education as the center for learning activity and adapting with the global challenge and digital transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, within the 6 tourism higher education institution under the coordination of Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, Republic of Indonesia, as well as other tourism schools that spread all across the country, we wish the strategic partnership collaboration, link and match with the tourism industry and scholar community as the main theme of APTTTEN Forum 21 will increase collaboration among tourism higher education institution and tourism industry in ASEAN plus 3 countries. Distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen, to conclude all the activity that has been held in the conjunction with the forum, I would like to brief on the major phase in this event. The first, as for the next step of the APTTTEN Forum, we wish that it will be a regular annual event to maintain the collaboration among tourism academics with the ASEAN plus 3 countries. And also, it is agreed during the APTTTEN workshop that it is significantly important to invite participation of the external dialogue partner to support the implementation of ASEAN Tourism Strategic Plan 2016 until 2025 and ASEAN plus 3 Cooperation Work Plan 2020 until 2025 in relevance with the human tourism development. The second point, we encourage all ASEAN plus 3 countries to utilize the APTTTEN web-based directory and to keep updating the data and activity through the website. And as for now, we already have 422 tourism institution members within the directory, and hopefully this figure will keep counting. The third point, during the sharing and learning session, there were 17 papers presented by prominent lecturers and figures from reputable university and industry in the region. The fourth point, as the result of the tabletop forum, we have recorded as much as 145 potential collaboration among tourism institutions and tourism industry that will be followed by the agreement for the future implementation. The fifth point, some key point critical issues and gap between tourism education with the tourism industry that already delivered by speaker and all participants should be emphasized to find out the solution with the composed recommendation and action plan by the collaboration action in ASEAN plus 3 countries. And finally, I would like to extend my gratitude to all the committee, especially the student and Civitas Academia from Bandung Tourism Institute as the host of this event, and also the coordinating committee from the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy. Hope to see you again at the APTTTEN Forum 2022. May Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala bless our endeavors, and may you and your beloved ones are always safe and healthy. Thank you and good luck, all the best. See you again and keep in touch. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Santi 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 Om. Thank you very much.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Faisal, for the closing speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we close the forum, we would like to express our gratitude for all the excellencies, the honorable, the distinguished guests, and the distinguished delegates from ASEAN Plus 3 and all the participants for joining us.
I am Halimatu Sadia.
And I am Anthony Samuel. Thank you for your attention. Have a wonderful day and
Good afternoon.